Dan Day.
The draft drama continues, not just for our Miami Dolphins, but for basically every single team in the league. Do you like what John Eric Sullivan is doing? Are you questioning what John Eric Sullivan is doing? Are you not okay with what John Eric Sullivan is doing? I think all Dolphins fans have mixed emotions right now, but this is the point of the year where no one can tell because it will take time to figure out whether they hit, they missed, or they just outright didn't do the right things. With my cousin Vladimir Lewis, I am Dan Day. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be looking at this NFL draft, especially with the Dolphins, because the Dolphins have done some things that have at least raised the eyebrows of Dolphins fans. Maybe not so much nationally, although there's some mixed reviews with the national pundits. We'll take a look at that draft. Of course, we'll get you ready for the Marlins game as they take on the Giants. Late night, great night last night. Sandy Alcantara dealing. They get to go again today at 4 o'clock right here on WQAM. We'll take you up to 3:30 in the pregame with Steven Strom. And then, of course, if that's not enough for you, Vlad, there's so much going on with NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Inter Miami playing tonight. It is just a cornucopia of sports goodness right now. And I don't know what excites me more, the draft or the playoffs. Because these playoffs have been pretty fantastic on both sides, the hockey and the basketball.
It's got to be whatever. It's got to be the draft for locally down here.
Absolutely. Because unfortunately, both of our hockey and basketball teams are not in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. But we're round 4 of the draft, day 3 of the draft, the final day.
4, 5, 6, 7 today.
Yes, sir.
Dolphins have 3 picks.
In what, the 4th? For the rest of the day?
2 fifths and a 7th.
Okay. I wonder if they're going to try to get in the 4th.
They got that. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they traded back 1 pick in the first round from 11 to 12 with Dallas to get that extra 5th round pick.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting draft, and we're going to break down the draft as the day goes on, of course, because hope springs eternal with the draft. As always, John Eric Sullivan, that's his specialty. He's told us in the past, or we know in the past, that he's been able to find nuggets that other people haven't been able to find. We shall wait and see. I know a lot of people here in South Florida very upset that Ruben Bain was not chosen and selected at number 12 when he was available. It always seems this, Vlad, that Caden Proctor, at least for Miami Dolphins fans, let's do this. As a Miami Dolphins fan, you know how Tua and Justin Herbert are always going to be linked here as Dolphins fans. As Dolphins fans, Caden Proctor, Caleb Downs, and Ruben Bain will always seem to be grouped together for Dolphins fans. They will always be compared because you had a chance to get any of those 3, and you chose Caden Proctor.
Well, you knew that every time, especially down here, you always want to get the hometown product or the college product.
You play better in front of mama.
Not only that, what Ruben Bain meant in the resurrection of the University of Miami, what the fan base down here, remember that the only good joy that they had football wise was the Canes in their march to the national championship. So new regime, it would have been like a act of good faith, you know what I mean? If they drafted the hometown kid, like that would have been great. The fan base would have been all behind it. Like it would have been crazy, you know? It would have been like a WWE roar, you know? The pop would have been crazy. They would have loved him. Sullivan would, they would have loved Sully.
Sullivan would have been celebrated.
But after days of thinking, stepping back, listening to everybody critique positively or negatively about this selection, I'm leaning towards of understanding why they went with Proctor, because they're doing something that you and I have mentioned so many times about a fault with the previous regime. And that was they never really sort of drafted for the division and conference that they play in.
Never drafted for the cold weather, never drafted for the end of the season. All they did was get shiny toys.
And you kind of said, doing Tobin and Leroy this past week and listening to what Sullivan said. Tobin mentioned Sullivan kind of lets you know he is into the measurables and he is into getting the big athletic, the mismatch, the guys that can really cause problems for other teams. And yeah, Ruben Bain would have been a great story. We know what he can do. We know who he's been coached by. We know everything. It would have been great for the Dolphins and the fan base. But you got to figure they really love Proctor. If they were willing to trade with the Cowboys to allow the Cowboys to get Caleb Downs, who everybody says was one of the top 5 players in this draft, like just players. Like, don't worry about skills. I mean, a position, just players. He's one of the top 5, and definitely the Dolphins could have used a safety. I mean, they need a lot.
They got a couple secondary guys now coming in.
Right, but they need a lot. But they decided that Proctor was the best player on their board. And if you look at that line, if healthy, obviously, because that's always been a problem down here. You know, you got Patrick Paul, you got Caden Proctor. You could put Jonah now back into his right foot position, which is right guard, because he was getting destroyed last year at left guard
early in the season.
A lot through the season, bro. He never.
He got better as the season went on.
It never improved.
Bro. I watched him.
It never improved.
I watched him. His name got called less as the season went on.
It still was nasty. Okay, it was more expected, pretty much. It was like, yeah. He got me. He got pancaked instead of him pancaking. Yeah, I see it. But nonetheless, and then Austin, if Austin Jackson, let's pray to the heavens, can stay healthy for a season, the offensive line doesn't look bad, and you still got 28 back there, and
you have to take deep breaths, though.
It's step by step with this team right now.
Most teams
I
understand
understand.
tell you offensive linemen need a year to simmer, to learn, to marinate. Look, Patrick Paul, it took a year. So let's not come in and be like, we got this. We're going to be all right. Let's be cool, man. Be cool.
Really, I mean, just,
I mean, you kind of got a free year this year if you're those guys anyway.
Oh, listen, that's why I said,
yeah.
You got a free year, and it would have been, we're giving you the BOD, benefit of the doubt, for this season. But if they drafted Ruben, or if somehow Mawanoa was still there, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe if they drafted him, then it would have been like, all right, you brought one of our own back. Oh my God, they really gonna give you you really get the benefit of the doubt. But they can't wait for that. They can't do that. They got to do what's best for this team and this roster, and what they felt that Caden Proctor, a big man, a big man. A big kid. Let me say that. A big young kid.
They say he's not a kid anymore.
But he is athletic. He's a beast when he's, playing right, and his weight is under control. Let's see if he can do that down here.
We often do this, Vlad. We do what my heart or my wallet. And this is the thing. I think it's and this is not an indictment on Ruben Bain, because I still think he's going to be a great pro, but your heart and your wallet, of course, your heart, as a Dolphins fan, as a South Florida person, you're saying, yeah, we need Ruben Bain. But in the long run, maybe Caden Proctor may be the more prudent choice for the Miami Dolphins. And you and I have talked about this, the measurables, although they don't always tell the story in a league like the NFL, where everyone's kind of on the same playing field and they're coached up to the best of their abilities. And in the long run, sometimes measurables will catch up with you. And it just seemed like John Eric Sullivan, he has this path, and it's refreshing that we have a Dolphins organization that has a direction and is staying focused on the direction. It just felt like in the past, and I could be wrong, although I'm not, Chris Greer kind of just willy-nillied it.
You know who's got the final say.
And John Eric Sullivan's taking full credit and blame for whatever happens, and I respect that.
Fam, when I heard last year, Mr. Greer said, I regret not being more authoritative and, having more say in matters. I'm like, wait, what? Aren't you the general manager?
Yeah.
Like, unless Mr. Boss Ross is saying, no, these are the picks, and we come to find out that, yes, some of the picks that it's happened, but some of the picks he's wanted has been turned down as well. So we're figuring you have the final say. Now you're saying now that well, come on, man.
And John Eric Sullivan's probably doing that too.
So JES, no. Mr. Sully's letting you know, hey, I will take everybody. I will take advice. I will take everybody's opinion, interpretation, analysis. I will take all of that. But at the end of the day, final word comes from me. So he did it, and he came. He went up to the podium, and he let you know this is why Caden Proctor was the best selection for the Miami Dolphins. at number 12.
And it's just good practice, period. Whether you are 100% making the picks or whether you're not, to 100% take credit for it and not pass the blame or not show weakness, that's good. Yeah, we understand. Stephen Ross owns this team. If Stephen Ross comes to you and says, you draft Ruben Bain or you're fired, and you draft him, okay, don't go make that public. Go out there and say, these are my picks.
I don't know if Boss Ross is going to
He's not doing that. I'm not, but what I'm saying is, go ahead, man. Let's not have some dissension in here. Let's have one voice. And that's what John Eric Sullivan is doing. And it's refreshing, too, that they have a direction, or at least they act like they have a direction, and they're going with it. And they don't care what other people are thinking. They had to know that not choosing Ruben Bain would upset some of the fan base. But at the same time, they went with who they believed in.
So let me ask you this.
I like that.
So let me ask you this, Cousin. Do you believe that Caden Proctor was the number one player on their board, or maybe it was Mansour Delaney? And because he was selected by the Chiefs, that's the reason why obviously I think the Cowboys wanted to get Caleb down, so they called the Dolphins, and the Dolphins was like, okay, cool, we can get Caden Proctor at 12 instead of at 11. We're still going to be able to get our guy, and we get an extra 4th round pick.
I think that they had targeted, in a perfect world, Mansour Delaney and Francis Mauianoa. I think when Mauianoa was taken at 10, that's when they fielded the call from Dallas. And I think that, honestly, they had Caleb Downs and Caden Proctor equal on their board, and they figured, well, then if we like them the same, why not trade down, get that extra pick, and get one of the two guys that we have equal?
So then, board? So basically, on their board, at best, right now, you're saying that Ruben Bain was the 3rd best player on their board with the remaining players that they had to select.
He definitely wasn't first.
No, but he was definitely not first nor second, because they let you know it was Caleb Downs. It was going to be Caleb Downs.
So he was at least 3rd. Yes.
Yeah.
He was at least 3rd.
At best, he was going to be the 3rd best player on their board.
And it was exciting for 5 seconds, and it was kind of a letdown when they took Caden Proctor, but that's the guy they wanted. And this is the thing I was telling you, Vlad. Another thing is, I think Ruben Bain's going to be a great pro player. Let's say he gives you 6, 7 great seasons at defensive edge rusher, Tampa Bay. Let's say Caden Proctor gives you 12 great seasons and solidifies the offensive line. What was the better pick? It depends how you look at it, but you could, and this is a guy who has great health and great longevity in college.
And he's a kid. He's still young. Yeah. 20 years old.
And we're going to talk about some of that in the next segment. We're going to kind of dive into the at least first 2 picks, because those are the guys that we're really, really honing in on. It's Miami Dolphins. But yeah, it could, good offensive linemen that can stay healthy are worth their weight in gold, literally. I mean, maybe more than their weight in gold.
That's a big left side, boss.
You got a lot of size.
Boss.
You got a lot. Let's get to some headlines before we start diving into everything that is going on in and around here in the sports world. Headlines: the Dolphins, with the 42nd pick, chose Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez. Why would you get a linebacker out of Texas Tech? That never works for the Dolphins. Wait a second.
I was so upset. You know what you did? You know, with that pick, that's who I think the Jets were going to grab at 44, and they traded back because of that. I think Jacob Rodriguez was going to be a selection. Oh, man, that was a great selection by you guys.
He has a very productive career over there at Texas Tech.
He is.
Numbers-wise. He's a numbers guy.
He is. When you talk about clones, he's Zach Thomas, bro.
Yeah,
that's who he is.
Zach Thomas is smiling right now.
Oh, man. Good selection.
77th pick, we stayed right there in Lubbock and took Texas Tech wide out Caleb Douglas.
If you noticed in the first 3 rounds, especially in the second and the third, a lot of college playoff teams, the players from college playoff teams, the Oregon, Texas Tech, they were being selected. Ohio State, obviously, University of Miami, obviously, but yeah, Texas Tech in the second round, a lot of their players were being selected, and they're coming from winning programs, and they're ready to play immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait. That was a great selection by the Miami Dolphins.
87th pick, Ohio State tight end Will Kachmarek. He's more of a blocking type. And then later on, 94th pick, Louisville receiver Chris Bell going to be making his way to Miami. Of course, the draft is starting right now. Miami has 3 more picks. 3 Canes were taken on draft day 2. Carson Beck went to the Cardinals. Jacoby Thomas went to the Vikings, and Markel Bell was picked up by the Eagles. Carson Beck, I want to say 3rd quarterback taken in this draft. First pick, 3rd round.
You know what? A lot of people see the maturity that this kid has done over the last year, and he must have really tested well and impressed in um in interviews and in private practices and all of that,
Man,
because I was shocked that he was the third quarterback selected after Simpson and Mendoza, obviously.
his first pick of the third round. This is the thing, Vlad.
Right.
Carson Beck, if he has a good camp, has a chance, and a small chance though, to start for the Cardinals. The Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett went 1-11 with them and is asking for an extension. Huh? 1-11 and asking for an extension?
No. He wants more money.
Well, okay, he wants more money.
No. Yeah, he has 1 year left on his deal, and he's
1
only
year left?
making $10.5 million for. So down that he's a starter, and what he did for that team. Like, remember, he was supposed to be backup to Kyler. Kyler gets hurt. He plays the whole season. He played, pretty well with all the injuries that they had. I mean, he Jacoby Brissett it. Like, Jacoby Brissett is a professional NFL quarterback. Like, he can hold it down for a little bit, but if you're gonna go Tankville, he can play, make games close, but lose at the end. But he wants a little bit more money. He doesn't feel like at his age and then what he's done for the Cardinals that he should be paid $10.5 million. He wants a little bit more. It's nothing. Just give him 20. He'll be good.
You don't think the Cardinals fans are saying, you know what, let's go take a shot with Carson?
It's only
Beck.
1 more year. If they feel like
you're his agent.
no. Listen, I'm not his agent.
I'm a Cardinals fan. I'm speaking as a Cardinals
but
fan.
his contributions to the Cardinals last season he feels that he feels that they should just give him a little bit more money. They're gonna give him a little bit more money. It's nothing. But if it is the Cardinals, you know what I'm saying? So
it is a rinky-dink organization.
It is a rinky-dink organization, and they're not the brightest. So, they got 3 running backs, and they still decided to draft Jeremiah Love. Now, Jeremiah Love is great, but it just didn't make that absolutely no sense. But at number 3, yes. But I can understand Jacoby Brissett wanting a little raise, but
I can also see the Cardinals fans being like,
knowing the Cardinals, they're going to be saying no, which will be very beneficial for Carson Beck because he'll be able to grab as many snaps as he can.
Should be interesting. The 13-13 Marlins. What did I tell you? The Marlins are going to play around 500 all year. They took down the Giants 9-4 last night. Sandy Alcantara got the win, 6 innings pitched, giving up 3 runs. Xavier Edwards, hotter than a fox in a forest fire, 3 for 4. Kyle Stowers, 3 for 5. 2 play again today at 4 will lead you up to 3:30 with the pregame. These NBA playoffs have been magnifique, as we like to say en français. Tonight, they got games, but earlier than that, we get started at 1 o'clock. Pistons, Magic, that series tied at 1. 3:30, OKC and Phoenix, with OKC, surprise, up 2-0. At 6 o'clock, you get Knicks, Hawks with ATL up 2-1. Then at 8:30, showdown between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets with Minnesota up 2-1. I'll be honest, Minnesota has the Nuggets number. They have outplayed them very much so. Last night, the Celtics defeated the 76ers. Lakers down the Rockets in overtime. LeBron James rolling back the clock a little bit. And the Spurs handled the Blazers.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. When Bron threw the alley to Bronny, that was nice.
A lot of people got real quiet when Bronny started making plays last night.
Oh, when he hit the 3?
Then got the alley, and then showed that he can play in playoffs. And
if he slammed it, that would have been great. But I don't think Bron kind of threw it was an okay alley, but Bronny reversed it with the left. It was nice, man. Damn, man. 3-0. We both said that. We
and the
feel
Rockets,
like the Lakers.
Kendrick Perkins put it best last night. He said, Rockets are the dumbest team in the NBA.
They don't. Here's the problem. And I think this is something they're going to have to do. And I don't know if they're going to have to give up a lot to this certain team in order for them to get this certain player. They need a point guard. And even if they got Fred VanVleet, I don't think he necessarily would have been. He'll be able to get them over.
He'd help a lot.
He would help, but I don't know if he would help them to get over. I think they need a Kyrie Irving.
Of course, Kevin Durant did not play last night with an ankle.
Right, so but I think that's what I'm saying. That. So, but if they had a Kyrie.
But then again, half the Lakers didn't play last night either.
But in a game like that, when you have still at his age, in his 23rd season.
Being the best player on the court?
You need another finisher. And Sengun is okay. He's good, but he's a complimentary player.
Yeah.
they need a point guard like a Kyrie Irving, a guy who can get his own shot and will be able to get others their shots as well. That's who they need. And I don't know if they'll be able to make that move with the Dallas Mavericks because I feel Kyrie's time in Dallas is over. But
You
I
never
don't know
know
if
with
they're
Kyrie.
willing, but you would have to give up a lot of your talent right now in order to get a player like Kyrie. But yeah, it was stupidity at the end. You're up by
You're up by
6
6 with
with
what?
30 seconds left. We've seen this before in the
But the
playoffs.
playoffs are kind of helter skelter like
Right,
that.
and that
too,
always
so-
happens with young teams or teams that choke it, when it's nut crunching time, man.
I like LeBron who passed up the easier shot to take the harder shot and still made it. Like,
Well, that was the thing. There was stumbling, bumbling idiots right there. Because at first, who he really wanted to give the pass to was Luke Kennard, because he's the best, one of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history.
he's been on fire.
And by the time he gave it to him, he fumbled the ball. So he passed it to LeBron, who had an easy shot, but he fumbled the ball, pump fake. 2 guys went flying, and then he took a shot, and it was just nothing but net. And then they did a great stop on Sangoon on the other end. They had 1.2 seconds left, and then LeBron takes
the wrong play.
LeBron takes a fadeaway 3, and that ball rims out. And I was like, "Oh man!" But after that, you knew momentum.
The Rockets don't have the mental fortitude.
When momentum swung to the Lakers' side, it was over. You know that they're gonna win in overtime. And listen, shout out to Marcus Smart.
He's been a great player this
series.
He's
been unbelievable.
He's always been a great player. What are we saying?
He is a vet that a vet that you need when you're contending in the playoffs or you have a chance to win a championship. He's that type of player.
All right, quick run through some more headlines so we can get to this NFL draft. NHL playoffs continue today. 1 o'clock, Carolina Hurricanes look to sweep the Ottawa Senators. At 5:30, the Dallas Stars up 2-1 on Minnesota Wild. Then at 8 o'clock, the Philadelphia Flyers look to sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins. Canes baseball lost 9-2 yesterday to Cal. Game 2 is today at 6. Miami Hurricanes athletic director Dan Radakovich is expected to retire next week. Inter Miami, 7:30 against New England Revolution at Leo Campana at New Stadium. Pat Riley will most likely hold his end-of-the-year press conference on Monday afternoon. And now we step into the day spa.
Oh, word.
Oh, word.
That's my bad.
Oh, no, it's all good, man. Here we go.
What are we doing?
A man in California was caught smuggling his child in his baby stroller into Disneyland in an attempt to not have to pay the entry fee. So he has a baby.
Wait, time out. He has a baby.
He has a baby. He put the baby up in the front. He told his younger child, who was like 5 years old, to smuggle up in the back behind the baby and ball up. They got him, man. They got him.
So he wasn't trying to pay for 2 kids.
He was trying to pay for nobody except for him. So anybody, the other kid, the baby gets.
Oh, he said, yeah. Well, okay. So he wasn't trying to pay for one kid, basically, because one kid is free.
One kid's free. The other one, he tried to smuggle in the rest of the stroller because the other child would have had to buy a ticket too.
He just could have.
It was an 8-year-old, by the way.
Wait. Oh, wait. The kid is 8?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, bro. And what's the limit? 5?
It's something like that. Yeah. He would have had to pay, but he got caught.
Come on, bro. An 8-year-old's, how big, how tall 8-year-old could be.
Poor little baby's all crammed up front.
I'm saying, he probably might give the kid scoliosis or something like that with his bad back or something like that.
Oh, man. Let's get into this draft. Let's talk about these draft picks that we did on night 1 with John Eric Sullivan. He's taken, I'm not going to say the blame. He's taking the credit or the blame, no matter how it goes. We'll see his thought process next here on Sports Day 104.3 FM WQAM. Remember the names Caden, Proctor, and Chris Johnson. They're the building blocks of this John Eric Sullivan, Jeff Hafley regime and the Miami Dolphins' future. Miami Dolphins have to hit on these picks. It's one of the things they've said, that they're going to find talent and make it the most. So will they? That depends. John Eric Sullivan, the day after Thursday, which was Friday, which was yesterday, he spoke to the media, or at least pretty much right after the draft. He wanted to explain himself and what he did and why he did it and what is to come. So he, right off the bat, tells us, Caden Proctor, he was the right pick at number 12.
He's unique. He's rare. He's a 350-pound man with unique athletic traits that can play 4 spots across the line of scrimmage. The left tackle, right tackle, both guards. The athletic traits for a man his size are through the roof. You know, I know there's been some questions about his weight. It's well documented. Obviously, we were very aware. We did our due diligence with our resources. We feel really good about where he is at with that. And we brought him in on a 30 visit. I could feel his conviction and his desire to be a good football player and do the things that he needs to do to be the best pro that he can be. All I can tell you is that there wasn't another one in the draft like him.
No one in the draft like Caden Proctor. Vlad, let me give you some quick facts on Caden Proctor. You already heard a couple of them, but this is from our guy Travis Wingfield over there with the Miami Dolphins. Caden Proctor, the 12th overall pick in this 2026 NFL draft. We talked about measurables, Vlad. John Eric Sullivan loves him. He measured in the 98th percentile in weight for an offensive lineman, 90th percentile in height among all tackles to ever compete at the NFL Combine. Proctor also notched 94th percentile in vertical leap and 84th percentile in broad jump, showcasing some of his best talents. Like Sullivan said, unique, rare, 350 pounds, tons of athleticism. And what gets you probably the most excited about that, Vlad? Left tackle, right tackle, both guards. He can do it all. I like it. They like the measurables.
Yeah.
And then you know what? If that's your thing, stick to it. And I like that they're sticking to it. What else do you like about?
They let you know what they like, man. They let you know what they were looking for.
And they stick to the plan.
They stuck to the plan.
I like
so
it.
It is, I mean, yes, we got to take away, obviously, bias, personal bias.
And of course, we love Ruben Bain Jr.
You got to take personal bias out the way and just, have faith that this regime knows what they're doing and are doing exactly what I feel like this team should have been doing for a long time, and drafting and putting a team together that fits the division and conference they're in.
Exactly. More reasons to like Caden Proctor. Durable and dependable, something we have not been able to say about a lot of Dolphins draft picks and players over the past couple of years. Proctor made 40 starts at Alabama, leading the Crimson Tide in snaps played this season with 985. He's one of the rare players who never transferred, finishing his collegiate playing career at the same school in which he started. During his final 18 starts at Alabama, Proctor was not flagged for holding, the longest stretch of any lineman in college football the last 2 seasons. That's promising. Now, once again, the pros is a different game than college football, but nonetheless, he also has some awards. The Jacobs Blocking Trophy. Proctor earned All-American honors in 2025 and the Jacobs Blocking Trophy given to the top offensive lineman in the SEC. His highlight tape is great. His skills, wonderful. And he's got a mean streak, they say. Once again, very good. The one thing we don't know about Wildcat quarterback, yeah, they made some. You saw Alabama last year had some gimmick plays with him, but it shows his versatility. It shows his talent. Remember, he caught that pass and he rumbled down the sidelines against Georgia.
I love that play.
It shows athleticism. I don't want to run any offensive plays.
And I told Tobin this when we were doing the game day uncensored draft that you're upset with this play this pick right now because you wanted Bain, but I know if you see a Malik Willis pass to Caden Proctor and he's rumbling down the sideline for a big first down or a touchdown, you're gonna love him. You're gonna love you like, oh, look at this unbelievable, beast, just with the swiftest and quickest feet that you've ever seen. Like, yeah,
let me tell you,
listen,
he's got a little offensive punch. He had a wildcat formation package at Alabama. He took some direct snaps, and last season he carried the ball
crazy.
Carried the ball 5 times for 16 yards. Like, and I'm not saying he's going to be an offensive juggernaut. I don't even think he's going to be part of the offense as far as being a skill player, but it shows that he's got versatility. And one more thing you might not know about Caden Proctor, which once again, it gets me excited. He graduated magna cum laude from Alabama.
Really?
Magna cum laude, human environmental sciences with a bachelor's of science degree, December 2025. So it's showing that he not only has the great athletic ability, the great size that you can't teach, but he also has the smarts. And we know that smart linemen that have all the physical abilities usually end up being pretty darn good in this league and lasting. So that's an exciting reason to get Caden Proctor. Now, there's going to be some Dolphins fans that say we should have taken Ruben Bain Jr. There's also some fans that said, Caleb Downs, we should have taken him. Well, John Eric Sullivan said, I'm not apologizing for taking Caden Proctor.
You know, Downs and Bain are marvelous players, and I understand the question, and I think those guys are going to be very successful in this league, no doubt about it. Again, we thought Proctor was rare. His height, weight, speed, production, the things that he can do on the football field for a man his size, he's an outlier. There's not many like him. It's no shot at Caleb Downs, a phenomenal football player, and he'll have a great career. And we would have loved to have him here, but we had a lot of conviction on Proctor being a very unique player in this draft and one that we can build around for years. We invested in Malik, and it was important for us to protect him, to make sure that he has time to do the things that he needs to do and keep him healthy. So that was part of the conversation as well. We're thrilled with the pick. We're happy to add him. We have a lot of faith in the person, and we think he's going to be a really good player here. No apologies.
First of all, I like the no apologies. Second of all, got to read between the lines on this. Number one, they like Caden Proctor because long-term, he's probably one of the best picks for them because he's durable, his size, offensive line protect, Malik Willis. They also like Caleb Downs a lot, but I guess they figured if they get another pick. And it also makes me believe they were not even thinking about drafting Ruben Bain because you heard what he said. He's like, Caleb Downs, we really loved him. I thought he was going to go Ruben Bain, same thing.
So at best, that's why I said early in the first segment that at best he would have been the third best player on their board.
He just blew by Ruben Bain. He never said, no, we really would love to have Caleb Downs on the team. Ruben Bain, same thing. Didn't say that. He just continued on.
That's why I understand the emotion that Ruben Bain had when he was talking to Laura Rutledge, because it was like, damn, basically the measurables is what really cost him from being a higher selection,
11th or 12th pick,
maybe even
still
more.
Finished 15. I mean, when I say 15.
Right, but I didn't think, and I don't think most of us thought he was going to fall to 15.
Right,
Ruben
Bain's a bad man. Then you don't want to get him motivated and angry. So,
he is, and
we've seen
God
him.
Bless
God bless you.
God bless them.
So with the 27th pick, we actually traded up to get cornerback Chris Johnson from San Diego State University. John Eric Sullivan, he explained why Chris Johnson at 27.
Yeah, when you watch Chris, he's got great feet, great balance and body control. He's physical. He's a big corner. He can play nickel, play outside corner. He's got ball skills. I mean, when you start checking the boxes for a defensive back, there wasn't really left. There weren't really many left. There were none really. He'll tackle. He's again physical. He's got upside. He's 21 years old. He's a good kid. He handles his business. He works, wants to be a good player. He's about the right stuff. He's the kind of guy that we want to infuse into this locker room, as is Proctor. Those guys football is important to them, and they both have edge. They have edge to them. They both, in a good way, reek of confidence, not arrogance, but confidence. They think they're players, and all those things were important to us as we build this thing out.
So we definitely need some cornerback help because you got a hobbled Storm Duck that, Ethan Bonner. That's kind of the only men standing in there. Juju Brents. You really need some cornerback. And I was wondering this, Vlad, and of course you worked the game here, the show here for the draft. On TV, when they drafted Chris Johnson, TV said he was 5'8", and I was like, "Why are we getting an undersized corner?" That was a typo. He is 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
TV. I don't know what they were doing with this draft coverage.
Let me tell you this, bro. I've been saying this. I said it that night, and I said it to you during the break. I am sick and tired of TV coverage, or because it made no sense.
5'8" to 6 foot for a cornerback is a big difference.
Some of the stats that they had were bad on the players, and the fact that they would still be on a specific pick or player, and 3 picks have already been selected already, and now they got to go. But you're in delay. So what you're watching on ESPN and the NFL network is delayed, like almost 3 picks.
Yeah.
This draft really moved, and I now notice why the draft is so long. It's because of the damn interviews and human interest, and we got to hear these guys talk so damn much. Just let's get to the picks.
So take a deep breath. Chris Johnson, 6 foot tall, not 5'8". And I was watching some of his highlights. He is every bit looking like a professional cornerback, which we are going to need for this Dolphins team. And heck, we traded up for him. We believe in him that much. John Eric Sullivan explained why we traded up for Johnson and took him at 27.
I think it was the versatility, and I think it was the upside. We feel like he's really gifted. He's young. Like I said, he's 21. We feel like, he can play really, he'll play nickel or he'll play corner, but we also feel like, depending on how this thing goes, he could go back there and play safety as well because of the ball skills and the instincts. I don't think we'd end up doing that. He's going to play corner, play nickel. But we had a lot of conviction on him. We got a lot of picks. We felt like we had the flexibility to do that because of some of the draft capital that we had, and we stayed whole. We swapped. We didn't lose. We started the day with 11. We got 11 now. So felt like it was the right thing to do.
Feels like in the first round, the Miami Dolphins were very much about getting versatility. Like we talked about, Caden Proctor can play a bunch of positions on the offensive line. Now they're talking about Chris Johnson being able to play safety, corner, nickel, a lot of other things. So, Vlad, it seems like this regime is valuing versatility in their players, which, you know what, is an obvious good thing. So we're excited about that. Now, some people have questioned Caden Proctor, Chris Johnson. Well, John Eric Sullivan shut that down. He says he understands there's questions about the picks, but he believes in the guys.
Now, there were some teams that were trying to move up. I'll keep those teams to myself, but there were some teams trying to move up, and we felt pretty good, at least about one of them coming to get him. So, we're excited about how this night ended. It was an organizational decision. Our coaches loved him. Our scouts loved him. All the analytics told you this guy's a unique, rare guy. So I can't, I understand the questions, and, that's just the way this business goes. Like whoever you pick, you guys are going to have questions about why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that. And that's okay. You got a job to do. Understand that. I'm not mad at you for it. But just know we feel really good about who we invested in tonight.
There you go. Miami Dolphins, they do have an idea. They do have a direction, Vlad, and they're sticking to it. You got to like that. That's one of the things. They're not going to be apologetic about things. They're going to explain to you why they did it, what they done, and why they're going to stick with their guns. And hey, you know what? I like it. That's one of those things. If they've done the work, which they promise us they have, they got the guys they wanted, which they promised us they did. Right now, you have to roll with it.
Got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
And this is the thing. John Eric Sullivan even said it. And this kind of gives me a little bit of excitement. He said they followed the board all the way. They never varied from it.
You follow the board, you always want to, if you can help it, I think you always, at least the way I was taught in this thing, you want to build it from the inside out, but you're not going to reach on guys. You got to follow the board. And we felt like, the way the board was sitting at the time when Chris was there, we felt for us, he was the best player available. And again, it's, you guys know how this thing goes. It's subjective. You do all the work that you can. You got your analytics, you got your coaches, you got your personnel staff. And you do that for a reason. And when you have conviction on a player, organizational conviction, I think you have to listen to that. That's why you go through the process. And he was one that we had that kind of conviction on. And so we do what we did.
I respect that.
I respect that. I like the fact they're not reaching. They're not trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
No, there was no split. There was no split between, there's no sides. There's not one side that believed in one player and on that player, and another side that believed in, another player. It was everybody. It was mutual. Everybody was all in on this decision. And he's right. It is subjective. Hey, bro, listen, you could draft a player. Like you see the film, you talk to everybody. It's up to the player and it's up to the coaches, and it's up to the players, and it's up to the team to execute the game plan in order to see if this pick was the right one. You're not going to know really fully if the pick is good
for another year, 2.
I mean, you got to give them a year.
2.
You got to give them a year, but you also, it's really 2 years. After 2 years, because you could have a great rookie season, and then you could have a sophomore slump, or you could have a slow rookie start, pick up things towards the end, and then have it an impressive second year. Or you could just be damn good from the beginning and just remain that.
Or you could be damn bad from the beginning and just remain that.
And be a bust. So it's really up to he's right. It's subjective. And you just hope that
you've done all you can do.
That that they selected right and the player executes the selection.
And I like that you bring this up, lad. They were locked in together, lock in step, one voice, one idea, one image, one direction. But one thing to love about this, make no bones about it, John Eric Sullivan says the buck stops here.
I don't want groupthink. I'm trying to eliminate bias, which can happen when you have everybody in the room doing it at one time.
What?
These two guys, to be perfectly honest with you, there were no outliers. We were convicted on these guys. The analytics did it here, coaches did it here, we did it here. And then we brought it together and we looked at it. We were aligned from the jump on these guys. We saw it the same. And I told you before, I don't need the validation of alignment all the time, but it helps. It helps for a healthy organization. At the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I take responsibility for every player we pick, whether it turns out the way you want it to or whether it goes south. It stops with me. I'm not hiding from it. I really like what we did tonight. And, it's the bottom line.
That's what the Dolphins have been missing for the past 25 years.
No yes men, no C men, no no das men. Nah, none of that.
None of this. Oh, well, we had a discussion. No, we were locked in, but at the end of the day, no one to blame, no one to give credit to but me. That's an attitude. That's a personality. That's how you build a team. None of this, we had a backroom argument. No, I need to be more authoritative. No.
That was crazy, bro.
I made the choice. It lies on me. We all agreed. Done. Let's play ball in a couple of months.
I mean, we've been doing this for a minute, but I mean, it was nothing like he was cursing or anything, but that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. One of the craziest things I've ever heard from an exec say in sports, that he wishes he took in more authority in making it. Wait, what? What the hell are they paying you for?
Who's running this show?
What is wrong with you?
Do you need my help? I could step in the war room with you.
That is not something you should ever publicly ever say.
No.
You should have kept that to yourself.
John Eric Sullivan comes from an organization that keeps their house in order.
What?
We're all locked in. We all agreed. But at the end of the day, it's me. Good or bad, me. I like it. I feel good about the future. Speaking of the future, we're going to hear from one of the draft picks next and also get a little what I like, because some interesting stuff's been happening in and around the sports world over the past week, but past 24, 48 hours. That is next with my cousin Vladimir Luisol. I am Dan Day. This is Sports Day on 104.3 FM WQAM.
The Marlins continue their series with the Giants this on FM 104.3 or on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Wow, that was so easy.
All of our shows are there live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed. Anytime.
Time to do some what I like. Some of the things Vlad, my cousin, and I liked over the past 24, 48 hours or so. I'm not going to lie, Vlad. This is one of the most exciting times of the year. I have been posted up at Duffy's Inn Plantation. Justin and Sabrina have been with me every single day.
What's up to my baby?
And I've just been watching just with awe the draft, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, baseball. There's just so much going on. It's all exciting right now. It's so many good games and so much excitement and drama. It's been awesome. Keontae Scott, I think he just got drafted, by the way, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's going to possibly.
Ooh, so he's playing with his boy.
He's going to be playing with our guy, Ruben Bain Jr. There you
That's
go.
nice, man. So the guys, they might not be playing for the city, but they're playing in the state.
So that's something to like right there. You got Keontae Scott and Ruben Bain Jr. together with Tampa. I don't exactly love Tampa, but that's okay. You know, I like those guys on that team. So that's something to like. Let's talk about our draft pick, Chris Johnson. He spoke right after he got drafted. First thing he said, man, I'm fired up to be a Dolphin.
Yeah, man, it definitely surprised me, man. Just sitting there watching the draft, obviously seeing different things go down. And, I finally saw my phone ring and I answered and, my service was a little spotty, so I couldn't really hear too well. I had to start moving around the house. But once I was able to talk with everybody, man, it was just a great feeling, man. Just understanding, a team values me enough to be able to trade up and grab me, man. And like you said, pre-draft meetings went great with them, man. I definitely connected with them and their staff. And, man, I'm just excited to get out there and play some ball, man.
That's got to be a nightmare. The call of a lifetime, man. You got spotty coverage and you're running around your house. Mom, leave me alone. Some spotty coverage. But he's decided to be a Dolphin. Dolphins believe in him. He believes in the Dolphins. Chris Johnson tells us he got that edge. Where's he getting that edge from?
Yeah, for sure, man. I feel like my edge, I could just describe it as being nonstop relentless, man. And I feel like that just goes with the culture that I built here, being at San Diego State the last 4 years. That's what we preach, man. That we weren't always the most talented defense on the field, but regardless, effort going outlast skill every time. So just going out there with the approach that I'm gonna give 100% on the field, whether I got the call or don't. Like regardless of what I'm doing, I'm gonna be at 100% always.
Interesting, Vlad. I just realized this. Our 2 first-round picks for the Miami Dolphins, all guys that played their entire career at one college in this day and age.
Okay.
Do you think that's something that may be factored in to the drafting of these guys? Or maybe is it just a coincidence? We know that Caden Proctor played all his
maybe that
career at Alabama.
I guess it shows loyal that these guys are loyal to a cause.
Maybe.
So that once they decided to join these universities, they decided not to, enter transfer portals and leave what they started. So maybe they like that. Shows that they're down for whatever cause. They like to start something and help it, help build it and leave some sort of legacy or some sort of imprint,
a legacy player. And you know what? Times might be a little thin this year, and maybe you might need some guys that are loyal to the soil.
Well, that's why I think that's a guy like Jacob Rodriguez. That's why I think that, he's a guy that would love to start and build something and be in the center of a new Dolphin succession, a new Dolphin come up, because that's what's going to have to happen this season. You're going to have to be able to grin and bear it, bro. It might be some hard times, Daddy, to quote the late Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Might be some hard times, but through these hard times, it's going to build character, and these guys are going to learn from this experience. And then when they start learning from this experience and turn those losses into wins, then you got a team and you got a contending team, and that's the plan. That's the plan. And who knows? It could be 1 year. I doubt it, but it could be in 2 years. Like it could be in 26. You go through hard times, and then in 27, bam, you're back up in this. So who knows? But you got to have the guys. You got to get the right guys who are capable of getting this thing going.
Seems like this Dolphins organization at least has some type of direction and idea in which they're going in, and they are sticking to it. One more cool thing happened last night, but what we're going to do is we're going to hold off on that, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about one of the coolest things that happened last night. I'm not talking about the NFL draft with my cousin Vladimir Lewis. I am Dan Day. This is Sports Day on 104.3 FM WQAM.
WQAM's Whiskey, Stars, and Cigars. TRCM. This is WQAM-FM and HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM-AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions. Home of the 5-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the 2-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This NFL draft has been super exciting, but NHL and NBA playoffs take a backseat to no one. And last night's NBA action was so much fun. Thought maybe the Portland Trailblazers could clip the San Antonio Spurs, especially without Victor Wembanyama. Not so much. Thought maybe the 76ers would clip the Celtics because that's been a tight series, but nope. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown had something to say to that. And then you thought the Rockets on home court could find a way to beat a somewhat injured Lakers team, and then the great LeBron James showed up.
Second body, Hachimura, and he turns it over. Get it ahead for James. Slaps it over to Kennard. Lakers are down by 3 for the tie. It's good.
LeBron James sends it kind of to overtime. That shot didn't actually send it to overtime. It tied the game.
He almost won it.
And then the Rockets ran the wrong play, according to their coach, Ime Udoka.
Really? Because it looked like the play was for Sengun, and he just...
That was a dopey-looking play. No, he straight up in the post-game said, no, that was the wrong play. They need to grow up. He straight up said that. And then LeBron James should have hit the game winner. That thing went in and out. And then, of course, in overtime, the Lakers took care of business. LeBron James, we said, is going to have to kind of put this team on his shoulders with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic not playing in this series. And Vlad, lo and behold, he has done just that with the help of Luke Kennard.
I mean, dude, this guy, they wanted him to be the third guy. He had to go, he was like, all right, cool. I'll come to accept being the third option with Luka and AR, Austin Reeves. And then injuries happen, and then now he has to go put on, the Batman, Superman cape, and with a bunch of guys that are not as good. This is almost like LeBron in 2018. It's almost like LeBron in 2007.
He knows how to do it.
He just, all right, man, just be a superstar in your role, and I'll figure out a way for us to be at the end of games and with a chance to win. And he's done that 3 games, and it's shocking that they have a chance to sweep now. Let's not forget, 2 of the 3 games they won, Kevin Durant has not played, and I want to know what's going on with KD for him. To first, it was a bone bruise, right? It was a thigh bruise or something that to the effect was a knee bruise, which is why he missed game 1. But now it was an ankle injury.
Ankle injury, yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
What's going on? There's something wrong with his lower body part, something wrong with his leg part, and it went from thigh bruise to now the ankle. And nobody knows his status for game 4 tomorrow night. And it was gonna, everybody thought they were gonna get. The Lakers were going to lose this series. You and I both said last week before game 1 that we don't really see it.
We saw the Lakers winning, though.
We saw it on the Lakers winning. I was like, I kind of feel like the Lakers win this in 6, but I didn't think they were going to win the first 3 like this. And then, it's shocking.
We told you LeBron was going to roll. Not when I say roll back the clock, because he's still one of the top players in the league, but kind of go back to putting it on his shoulders and taking over, and that's exactly what he's done.
It's just that a lot of people were saying, it's time for him to go. It's time for him to leave the team. He's no longer needed with the Lakers and stuff like that. And then you're looking at him, you're like, yeah, you understand why he's who he is and who he's been the last 23 years. And it's still crazy at the age of freaking 41 that this man is still, when it's nut crunching time, he is still one of the best, if not the best person that you want with the ball.
We played you that big 3-pointer that tied the game and eventually sent it to overtime. We didn't play the highlight of him diving on the ground for a loose ball.
We also could have played some of the turnovers that caused him to be down by 6.
He had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
he can't do it all.
He's old. You know, the old are they get tired.
They also run everything through them.
But, you know, they get tired. But he did get the turnover. He did hit the ball from Shepard's dribble. He tapped it in the back from behind while he was dribbling the ball and got the turnover, and he hit the game-tying 3 and almost hit the game winner, but they figured out a way to win in overtime. So
have we gotten to the point now where everybody likes LeBron James again? I know there was a part where everybody hated him, but I always feel as though everybody loves him.
No, but listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
At this point, come on.
When you're an entertainer, an athlete, actor, musician, whatever, if you're in entertainment and your job is to entertain people, if you've been doing it for such a long time, at the highest degree, at the supreme top, you're going to be hated a lot because people are going to compare you to their favorites, who they feel is the best of the best. But if you've been doing it for such a long time, eventually, even your biggest critics are going to have to give you some sort of respect.
Yeah.
And right now, I think a lot of people are starting to, the people that were criticizing him early in the season, during the middle of the season and everything, are starting to say, look, you know what? I may not always agree with everything he does. I might not, I may still have my favorite, but he is one of the GOATs.
I'll tell you this, Vlad. I'm out every night, and everyone's cheering and excited for LeBron James. So whether you love him or hate him, I don't know. I think we've gotten to the point where, yeah, you could say you hate him, but I think deep down inside, I think most people respect and
love who you love. Your favorite's always going to be your favorite. You can't knock somebody. You can't change somebody's opinion on your favorite. But you be damned to say that he's not one of the best players you've ever seen in your lifetime. And whoever you have as your GOAT, cool. But he's in the Mount Rushmore.
Well, once again, love him or hate him, you're watching him. So,
listen, the day that man retires, the day the man gives up his crown,
NBA's gonna be nervous. All right, real quick headlines because we've got to get to Daniel Solana talking some Inter Miami, because Inter Miami, since we talked to Daniel Solana, it's really kind of had a shakeup and a lot of things going on with them. Of course, the Dolphins with the 42nd pick took Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, 77th pick. Texas Tech wideout Caleb Douglas. A lot of guys with size. 87th pick, Ohio State tight end Will Kachmarek. And then with the 94th pick, Louisville receiver Chris Bell.
Good pick as well.
And they're going to have 3 picks today. Carson Beck, he went to the Cardinals. Jacoby Thomas went to the Vikings. Markel Bell went to the Eagles. And just now, Keontae Scott got drafted to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yes, sir.
Marlins, they got a game today at 4 o'clock against the Giants right here on
the Gigantes.
WQAM. Some other quick headlines to get to. Inter Miami, we're going to talk about that next. They're in action 7:30 against the New England Revolution. Pat Riley supposed to hold his end of the season press conference. That's going to be Monday. Very interesting. That shall be. And talking to the NBA, Darren Peterson will enter the NBA draft after just 1 season at Kansas.
So all the top stars that are based from college are basically entering the draft.
AJ DeBansta.
Yes, and Cam Boozer, right?
There you go. Has Cameron Boozer announced?
Yeah,
I may have been sleeping on that one.
Yeah, I think he announced like the other day.
Okay, cool. Well, that being said, let's announce the day spa. Did you see this? The Philippines president recently did jumping jacks on live TV to disprove rumors of his bad health.
What's he jumping? So
he also jogged for 20 seconds to disprove rumors of bad health.
That meant nothing.
But I didn't know jumping jacks and 20 seconds of cardio prove that you're healthy as a horse.
Fat?
No, but they were worried maybe his heart and maybe some of his physical issues.
I mean,
that doesn't prove very much.
Jumping jacks?
Jumping jacks.
How many did he do?
20 seconds of cardio, like 5. I mean,
did he do it in a suit?
Oh yeah, he was pretty dressed up though.
I mean,
it's kind of like a combine, man. You know, how many jumping jacks can you do? How long can you run for? You know, good stuff like that.
Oh, listen, he was elected as an official there, so therefore he knows how to con them into thinking that everything's okay. So, hey, 5 jumping jacks and 20 seconds of cardio of running. Hey, I'm the healthiest man in the Philippines.
There you go, man. That's
healthier than Manny Pacquiao.
That's the man you want leading your country right there. Jeez. Daniel Solana from This Is Football podcast coming up next. He's going to talk all things Inter Miami, maybe even get his idea on some of the Miami Dolphins draft picks because he is a lifelong Miamian. That is next here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
All right, it is time. We've been excited about the draft all weekend long. We've been excited about the NBA playoffs, which have been exciting, NHL playoffs, which have been great, but we can't forget about Inter Miami going for their first outright win at new stadium. And for a while, we have not spoken to This Is Football's Daniel Solana. This is Football Podcast. He has been canoodling and hobnobbing all over the world, whether it be Uruguay, whether it be Legoland, whether it be betting on horses with his old man for his birthday.
I saw that.
How's the ride been, Daniel Solana? Break it down before we get into some of the nuts and bolts of Inter Miami.
It's been great, fellas. It's been great. It's been fantastic betting on the horses. Legoland was fantastic. Uruguay was unbelievable with my son. Tonight we'll be celebrating my dad's 70th birthday. I'll be cooking up a storm on the grill, big parrillada for the birthday tonight. And I'm just looking forward to talking some Inter Miami, and heard you guys on the last segment. Maybe we'll get into some Dolphins.
Oh, we will. But speaking of being on the grill, what in the hell happened to Javier Mascherano? I have looked up high and low. I don't know. He said personal reasons. Daniel, please shed some light on why Inter Miami has had a change with the head coach over the past couple of weeks.
Well, there was a lot of back and forth over the last couple of weeks about what had happened with Mascherano. Obviously, you guys know this, just like I know this. Inter Miami's sole focus this year was to win the CONCACAF Champions League, and they bowed out early. They tied twice to Nashville and were eliminated early on in the tournament. And unfortunately, I think that destined Mascherano to leave. And look, there was also some rumors that he didn't see eye to eye on some things with Messi, that there was some rift between him and Suarez. Also, he didn't sign off on the Rodrigo de Paul or the Berterame contract. So there was a lot of smoke where there was fire. I'm not buying the personal reasons. I think he left before they invited him to leave. It's just interesting that the guy who stepped in was the former sporting director, Guillermo Hoyos, a very, very close friend and mentor of Lionel Messi. And he's done an interesting job, pretty decent job over the first couple games, winning 6 points on the road. And now, like you said, coming back home to see if they can finally get that first win under their belt at new stadium.
History does repeat itself. Remember, Tata Martino, we heard there was a blow up in the locker room. Now we're hearing again with Javier Mascherano. There was a blow up in the locker room.
So wait a minute. How many times are you going to have a blow up with his boys?
Happens all the time in soccer, man.
I'm just saying, like, we know all these guys that are coming in to be the new, the new manager, new head coach. They get the okay from him. That's his cosign, right? And then all of a sudden, they're not liking schemes. They're not liking the way formations are happening. And then all of a sudden, he gets let go, and he's going to bring in another one. I mean, you're going to have to do this because he is who he is, but it's going to have to be some type of consistency here, right?
Absolutely. But we have to be honest with ourselves, right? Since Mascherano took over the team, other than a short stint in the Club World Cup and then another short stint in the 2025 playoffs, this team really hasn't played on all cylinders like we had expected them to be playing. Obviously, last year you had Busquets and Jordi Alba on the team. This year you take them off, you add Reguilon, you add a couple of other players. And yeah, I don't think this team is better than what they had last year, but they still hadn't been playing very well the entire season. And unfortunately, I feel like they played better last game than they did the rest of the games with Mascherano this season. And unfortunately, in soccer, this is how it works. Other than in the MLS, the rest of the world, this is how it works. If you don't put up wins, if you don't bring in trophies, then they're going to show you the door. And that's exactly what happened to Javier Mascherano. He couldn't advance in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The team didn't show that they were improving game after game in this 2026 season. And you need the results. Yeah. There's the excuse that they're in second place, right? That they had only lost one game all season. That was the home opener over in Los Angeles against LAFC, the first game of the season. And other than that, they hadn't lost a game, but they weren't playing well, gentlemen. They were not playing well. And at the end of the day, you need to show improvement game over game if you want to keep your job, at least for the Inter Miami head coach.
So the new coach, Guillermo Hoyos, he does come with a nice resume, and I know you can fill that in for us, but what does he bring to this team that's different than Javier Mascherano? First of all, give us a little bit of his background, and then, of course, give us how he makes this Inter Miami team hopefully more dynamic.
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing right off the bat is he has experience, right? Javier Mascherano came in and he had no experience as a head coach, just as a youth national team head coach. Guillermo Hoyos has coached all over the world. He's coached the Bolivian national team. He's coached in Argentina. He's coached in Bolivia. He's coached in a lot of different countries in Chile. So he comes with the experience. In addition to that, he also has the experience of being in the front office at Barcelona with La Masia and kind of finding Lionel Messi in Argentina and bringing him over to La Masia. We know that Messi calls him his godfather in the game of soccer because he was the one that mentored him when he was young, brought him over to Spain, and the rest is history. But that's the key right here, is that he has experienced something that Mascherano didn't have. And the other thing is he has that closeness with Messi, something that we know that Messi and Mascherano were friends. But in terms of, coach and player, we never knew if there was that mutual respect that you see between coach and player. And I think Messi does have that for Guillermo Hoyos, while I'm not sure if he had that for Mascherano.
All right. With all the troubles and everything, inconsistency, they're still second place in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, 1 point behind Nashville.
They're still 1 point behind Nashville. So they still have the MLS to play for. And like you said, they just got 6 points on the road. So obviously there's still room for improvement and for things for the ship to get back right. So what do you think they still have? Is this the MLS is the only thing they have to play for this season? And also, when are they going to get a damn win at home? Because this is ridiculous.
Oh, I think it's going to be tonight, fellas. I think it's going to be tonight. I think they'll win 3-1 tonight. Obviously, New England is coming in pretty hot as well, having a very good season, coming off of a come-from-behind win over Atlanta on Wednesday, 2-1. But I think it'll be Inter Miami's game to lose today. They've been showing over the last couple of games a little bit of improvement, something that we didn't see under Mascherano. We saw Guillermo Hoyos shift to a 3-5-2 over the last couple of games. It worked out very well in the first half against Real Salt Lake. Second half was a little poor until Rodrigo de Paul scored that screamer. And then, of course, Luis Suarez, my guy finishing off the game with that beautiful second goal. But I think, they're going to win this game tonight. I don't think that they can tie or lose this game. They have to win one, like you said, Vlad. 3 games now, including tonight's games at home, 2 in front of the home crowd and 2 ties. But we'll see what happens. There's going to be a lot of interesting storylines in tonight's game. Obviously, Bright is suspended for the racial slur that he slung over in Denver. And Segovia is suspended due to yellow card accumulation. So we're going to have to figure out what's going to happen in the midfield tonight, because it's going to be DePaul and it's going to be either David Ruiz or Alex Shaw, 2 young players who haven't had a lot of time on the field over the last couple of years.
So a couple of the moves that Inter Miami has made over the past year and a half, we know Luis Suarez, he's been a home run. He's been a grand slam. I know last year he was kind of mitigated in the playoffs, didn't play very much, but he's gotten goals. He's done great. But out with the old, in with the newer, as we use with Inter Miami. Jordi Alba retires, Sergio Busquets, in comes Rodrigo de Paul, my favorite player on the team, and Germán Berterame. So far, the Rodrigo de Paul, Germán Berterame additions to Inter Miami, what grade would you give them, Daniel Solana? And once again, this is a work in progress, but so far, what would be your grade for them joining Inter Miami?
I would say a D. I don't think Rodrigo de Paul has played up to the level that they're paying him and up to the fanfare that he came to Inter Miami with. So he has not played well. He has shown flashes like he did in the playoffs last year. He's had a couple of decent games this season, but overall, he has not been the Rodrigo de Paul that we have seen with the Argentinian national team that we used to see with Atletico de Madrid. He just doesn't look – I'm not sure if he doesn't look interested. He's not sure what position he should be playing on this team, or if he just – is just not getting into the rhythm of what the MLS needs for him to do. But for Rodrigo de Paul, a D, and for Berterame, I would also give it a D. He was signed for $15 million. He was supposed to come in here and score 1 million goals. And unfortunately, he's got 2 goals, on, a handful of shots this season. He's got a couple of assists, but we've seen him miss too many easy goals this season that a player of his caliber and a player who's getting paid what he's getting paid and taking up a designated player spot cannot miss.
Do not like to hear that. But onward and upward, this team, like we said, I don't know. Vlad has kind of pulled me back in. I was like, they're really disappointing this season. They're not doing
bro, it's
just my expectations are high.
and that you hit it. You hit the nail right here, right on the head. There's expectations with the team. Obviously, when you have Messi on you, anytime you have Lionel Messi on your team, there's gonna be high expectations. Especially when you have, and then when you have goals and you let it be publicly known what these goals are, and you've set some of it, but you failed. You failed in the others. Yeah, when you're trying to gain a lot of interest and you don't hit those goals, people are gonna talk. And then this is what the second manager being let go. And what? How many years have Messi's been here? For what? 3, 4?
This is 4th year.
Pretty sure it's been 5 managers since Inter Miami's inception, because you had Diego Alonso, then you had Neville.
Yep.
Then after Neville, you had Tata Martino, then Mascherano, and now Ojo. So 5 coaches in 6 years.
So 5 coaches in 6 years and 2 in the 4 years that Messi's been there.
Yeah.
No, 3 in the 4 years.
Well, this is his 3rd coach, right? Yeah. 3 coaches in the 4 years that he's been there. And mind you, they've all been his boys.
Well,
and the next one could possibly be his boy too.
In some
Obviously, the rumors are Xavi and Marcelo Gallardo, an Argentine and a former friend and teammate. So
Day, you would make Dan Day. You would make Dan's day
if Xavi came.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's his guy. That's his guy.
Look, I'll tell you this. It was pretty interesting that Inter Miami didn't name Guillermo Ojos the interim head coach or the interim manager. They went straight out in the press release and said he is the head coach. They also came out and said he's probably going to be the head coach until the end of the World Cup. I think that's fair. I think it's fair that you're giving him some time to see if he can do something. And if he can't, then you wait until the end of the European season, the end of the World Cup, and you see what managers become available. And then you go after and you pick the best possible manager that you can get. Of course, Messi approving, right?
I was going to say, Javier Mascherano's job would have been safe if Messi would have said it was safe.
Of course. Anytime, listen, anybody's job is safe as long as the best player says, hey, I still want him here. If he doesn't say anything or he just gives a shrug or doesn't mean anything to me. If you do, it doesn't bother me, whatsoever. Then you're fired. And that's what's happened 2 times.
Yes.
So we're going to have to live with it. We're going to have to live with it.
We live with it. But Inter Miami is still in a great position. What is left on the table for Inter Miami to win this year? Is it Leagues Cup and is it MLS Cup, Daniel?
That's right. Two trophies left for them to win this season. You've got Leagues Cup at the end of August, and then obviously the MLS Cup in November and December. But yeah, they sit pretty good in the table. Second, obviously 1 game more than Nashville has played, but they need to continue to get as many points possible because we know that the stretch at the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall is going to be rough with the amount of games that these players are going to play in the World Cup and then with the League Cup and the rest of the MLS season. So they need to continue to win as many possible games. And big game next weekend, fellas. We have El Clásico del Sol in Miami as Orlando City will be paying their first visit to the city of Miami, right? Because they've been going to the city of Fort Lauderdale for the last few years. So they'll be paying their first visit to the city of Miami, a new stadium.
Should be an easy 3 right there.
We call
no
it
doubt.
The Sun Classic. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called the Sun Pacifico. I don't know, man. There's like 8 names for it.
Yeah, there's
the Derby.
Wait. They call it the Sun Pacifico?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's corny, but it's cute.
It's called the Turnpike Derby.
I've heard the Turnpike Derby. I kind of respect that. I get
The
it.
bright line.
The bright line? What
Whatever you
the
call
bright
it.
line battle? I
Yeah,
don't know.
something like that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Orlando City's garbage. And I'm not just talking about the organization. I'm talking about the team this year.
Wow.
So tonight, Daniel Solana, you've already told us your prediction, and I agree with you, by the way, that the Inter Miami finds their first win at New Stadium, whether it be 3-1, 3-0, 3-2. I got you on that. I think next week it's a given against the Orlando City. They're not coming in here and taking our candy. But I do want to talk about a little bit of the other football that's happening in town. Daniel Solana, you're born and raised in Kendall, and you have been a lifelong Dolphins fan. Were you a little bit disappointed when Ruben Bain did not come off the board at number 12 to the Miami Dolphins?
Look, man, I was hearing over the last couple of weeks, obviously, all of the noise regarding his arm length and all that. I don't understand that. I would have taken Ruben Bain, but I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of happy with the Dolphins pick. I like Caden Proctor. I think he is an absolute freak of an athlete. He stood up. I don't really know who he was, watching the draft. He stood up and I was like, who is this monster? He's huge. And I think he's going to be fantastic on the blind side there, blocking for Malik Willis this year. And look, I think it's fantastic that they're addressing the offensive line, because they say they want to keep Devon Achane, right? And if that's the case, they're going to want to run the ball. So what do you have to do if you want to run the ball? You need to get the big boys up front. And that's exactly what they did, going out and getting him. Then I love the pick on the cornerback. Love Chris Johnson. I think that is a fantastic pick, a big corner that can play in the zone defense, can also play man-to-man. And look, I really love the tight end they drafted last night. I really love that pick.
The Ohio State guy.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good game against UM. He had a couple of catches against UM when they played in the Fiesta Bowl in the playoffs last year. And he's a big boy. And they're saying he's like a 6 offensive lineman, apparently, because he pushes the defensive lineman out of the way. So,
well, the three of us are probably old enough to remember the last Dolphins playoff win, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. And
I think Lamar Smith was our running back.
Yeah, it was Lamar Smith. And the great Jay
Fiedler. Colts, right? We beat the Colts.
Jay Fiedler, baby.
But I got to ask you this, Daniel Solana, isn't it refreshing, the new regime that we have that kind of does actually seem to have a direction, does kind of seem to have a foot in the ground and saying, this is what we're doing and we're doing it? Because it seems like over the past couple of years, even decade, it's been really wishy-washy with the Dolphins.
Well, it's been like that since before Jimmy Johnson, right? It's been really rough. You haven't had that stability that front offices who win all the time have. Unfortunately for Miami, they're changing coaches, they're changing GMs. Every 3-4 years, it seems like they're retooling, rebuilding. But it all starts with the quarterback, right? And unfortunately for the Dolphins, I was never a Tua Tagovailoa fan since they drafted him. I didn't like the fact that they picked a guy who had just come off of hip surgery, and I was never really a fan. And I think they're trying to bring in their guys, and they're trying to play their style of football, which is very similar to what we saw in Green Bay. And look, Green Bay has been a fantastic franchise since their inception. They've won Super Bowls. They've been to the playoffs multiple years. They've drafted very well over the years. So if we can take a page out of their book, I'm fantastically happy about what the Dolphins are going to do going forward, because I think that's exactly what they needed. And it just didn't happen with Brian Greer and Tannenbaum and the rest of the guys who they had in the front office in the past.
And Daniel Solana, you're never one to shy away from your opinion and saying what you want to say. You just said it right there with the Dolphins. You and I, years ago at a birthday party, you said when Inter Miami first got started, like, this organization has done everything wrong. They're crappy. They suck. They've kind of righted some things. But in your opinion right now, what would be your criticism of Inter Miami in the current state that they're in? Give us a straight up how you feel about it. Maybe you're saying they're doing great. Maybe you're saying there's things they need to fix. What is your overall feeling, unfiltered, on what Inter Miami is doing as of today?
Look, I think they're doing it the right way. And unfortunately, I think that the MLS has so many rules in place that do not allow some owners to bring in the type of players that they want to play. Of course, I'm talking about the 3DP rule. If that rule didn't exist, Inter Miami would have brought in a bunch of new players. And I think that's the right way that this league needs to move into. Unfortunately, they're worried about players diving and fining them for diving and giving out cards and all and players not coming out in 30 seconds and things like. They have all these weird rules when all they need to do is pull back the strings a little bit, Let the owners open up their checkbook. Let them bring in better players. And I think then MLS is really, really going to grow, because the fact of the matter is folks are not watching because you don't have pretty football every single weekend. And folks want to watch pretty football. That's why they watch the Premier League. That's why they watch La Liga. That's why they watch the Italian League. That's why they watch Europe, because there's good players. They spend the money. They have the good teams. And look, like I said, Inter Miami, I think, is doing things the right way. They're second place in the Eastern Conference. I don't think they retooled as good as I thought they could have retooled. Obviously, I thought with Rodrigo De Paul coming in, he was going to be a big help. I thought Berterame was going to be an absolute killing on the offensive end. But, like we talked about earlier, they haven't done a great job this year fitting into the plan. So overall, I think the front office is trying to do a good job. I just don't think the players are doing the greatest job that they can on the field. And that's really what's holding them back. But it's just the beginning of the season, fellas. We have plenty of time. We have the World Cup in 40-something days, and then we have the rest of the MLS season. So as long as they keep winning, I think nothing else matters, right? That's at the end of the day, nothing else matters. As long as you continue to bring home 3 points every single weekend, that's all you can ask for.
And I think, okay, go ahead.
Lastly, before my last question, semifinals, Tuesday, Wednesday, Champions League. Who you got? PSG versus Bayern, Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid.
I said it on This Is Football. I like Bayern. I like Bayern to take it all. I think they're playing so well. I think they have a fantastic squad. Obviously, PSG handled business in the semifinals, but
yes, red card.
We'll see, man. I think the final is going to be Atletico versus Bayern, and I think Bayern takes it all.
I'm just saying it was a BS red card in the Bayern Real Madrid game. I'm still bitter about that loss. That's all.
It was. But look, man, Real Madrid was never going to win that series. Unfortunately, they're just not having a great year. They tied yesterday. I believe they basically lost the league because Barcelona won today. So they're just not having a good year. And I think they overachieved in the Champions. I don't think they should have gotten as far as they should have gotten. I just don't think they should have beaten Man City. And I think Man City would have been a much better test for Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals.
I feel like you had two great games between Bayern and Madrid. And I just felt like a lot of chances that Madrid, by their best players, how many chances did Mbappe had in scoring goals, and he never capitalized on it. He had maybe over 11, 12 chances in both games, in both legs, where he only capitalized once, I believe. So that's why I felt, defensively they stink. They're terribly defensive, but their counter is unbelievable. And I felt like they were, for the most part, controlling that game against Bayern. It's up until that final 5 minutes when all of a sudden a red card comes out of nowhere. BS call. But Bayern moves on. I do feel like they're going to win. I feel it might be Bayern versus Arsenal. I think Arsenal wins.
I don't know, man. Arsenal's bottling the Premier League right now. So I don't think so.
Always interesting with This Is Football's Daniel Solana. How can people consume more if they need more football talk, more football insight? Daniel Solana, how can they find you and where can they find you?
You can find me on all my social media at Dice El Dani. We'll be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., joined by my co-host, Nico Bravo. Also with our new co-host, Alejandro Solana, on This Is Football tomorrow morning to go over the game from tonight. Usually we would do it the night of the game, right after the game, but it's my father's birthday, so we will be celebrating that. We will be on early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with This Is Football live, and follow us on social media.
Daniel Solana, it's always great. Let's get these 3 points tonight. Onward and upward for Inter Miami. This is Football's Daniel Solana, Dice El Dani on social media. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, fellas.
Daniel Solana, glad now I'll be back. We'll keep it a buck right here on Sports Day, 104.3 FM, WQAM. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck real quick, where Vlad and I talk about what we believe to be 100% true. And kind of like the NFL draft, time will tell whether we are right or wrong. Told you at the beginning of the Marlins baseball season who you're actually going to hear right here on WQAM starting at 3:30. We'll lead you up to that for the pregame as they take on the Giants at 4:05. I told you this is going to be a 500 Marlins team, and lo and behold, at this point in the season, they are exactly that, 13-13. Vlad, there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows, but I do expect this team at the end of the season to be right around, hovering around 500 and competing for a playoff spot or a wild card spot.
Well, I mean, they better hurry up because the Braves look like they're about to lap the field again, like they used to back in the days. And they're 5.5 up on the Marlins. And I think they come into Lone Depot in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see. 13-13 is good. Second best record in the NL East. And Sandy had a good performance last night. Bounced back after shaky one against Detroit on what was that this past Sunday. Yeah, so it was a shaky one against Detroit. We'll see, man. We'll see. But they bounced back so far this week after struggling against Milwaukee. Good wins.
They had 2 wins over the Cardinals and
2 wins over the Cardinals.
They win over the Giants, and they play again.
So they've won 4 out of their last 5.
Yeah, and they're a solid team. Liam Hicks continues to play very well. Xavier Edwards is one of the hottest hitters in the league as far as average is concerned, and you continue to look at Owen Casey and those guys. And the pitching, of course, the pitching has been very, very solid, and it's one of those teams where I told you, against the best of the best teams, they're probably going to falter. Against the worst of the worst teams, they're going to feast. And on the middle teams, they're going to do 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3 game wins. So that brings you right at 500.
A lot of mediocrity so far in baseball. Certain teams,
26 games.
Yeah, certain teams that you expect them to be good or not playing so well.
There's
like
one team,
like the Blue Jays, the Red Sox.
Who's been the worst though?
The Astros, the Mets.
The Mets. Woo.
The Kansas City Royals. In the NL Central, Cincinnati and Chicago and Pittsburgh. They're playing well.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are good.
Dude, everybody in the NL Central is 500. It's like the NFC North.
That's what you want.
It's like, yeah, everybody's good. And Dodgers and Padres are battling the NL West. Arizona's hanging in there, and the Yankees.
The Mariners have had a kind of down season so far.
Yes, Yankees struggled a little bit a couple of weeks ago. They've won 4 in a row. Actually, I think they've won 5 in a row.
They'll figure it out.
But yeah, actually they've won 7 in a row.
They'll figure it out.
They figured it out. Yeah,
for now,
they figured it out.
That's baseball. They figured it out for now. Vlad, what do you want to keep a buck?
NBA playoffs, some interesting dynamics. Some series that I didn't think were going to be so competitive have been, including my Knicks being down 2-1 and having a must-win tonight. Pretty much really shocked at the way the Sixers have been able to compete with the Celtics after that Game 1 blowout. Jason Tatum, I'm keeping it a buck. He seems like, I know people say there's not, science miracles, but I've never seen a player suffer that type of injury, come back 6 months later and kind of work his way into being the player that he is. And then yesterday, what I've seen in the first 3 games, he's starting to look like the old Jason Tatum again.
And he said he's not 100%.
I know he's not, but that's the thing. If this is what he's doing
at 75,
at 65, 75%.
Watch out.
But I mean, they still have a their game plan. It's questionable to me because if they hit the shots, it looks unbelievable. But if they miss shots, they don't really have a balance to that. It's really 3s or nothing for them. But he's starting to look like Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown has been playing like Jaylen Brown has, like the MVP candidate he has been all season. So that was a big win by the Celtics. Obviously, the Lakers with the win. Road teams are winning. That's what I'm noticing a lot. Road teams are winning a lot in the NBA and NHL playoffs as well. Shocking that the Flyers are up 3-0 on the Penguins.
It's an intrastate rivalry.
Yeah, Flyers are taking it to them.
They really have, yeah. And of course, the Avalanche are doing what we all expect the Avalanche to do throughout most of these playoffs, at least at the first round for sure, because they have been head and shoulders.
The city of Denver owns the city of Los Angeles in NBA or NHL playoffs. It's like the Nuggets own the Lakers, the Avs own the Kings.
Right, but it also seems like Minnesota Timberwolves have a formula for beating the Denver Nuggets too. I watched the series and it just is like, and the Joker doesn't even look like the Joker at times. Jamal Murray kind of looks, you know, irritated. It's like they seem to
I
have
don't
that
know
kryptonite.
what it is, bro. I don't know what it is about that team.
Bad matchup.
They are a bad matchup for the Denver Nuggets in the postseason. They just figure out a way. And every time you want to make fun of why they traded 5 picks for Rudy Gobert, that's pretty much the reason
That
why.
might be the reason why.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a method to their madness. I'm telling you, Nuggets better win tonight or else.
Yeah.
Or
That's another
else.
must win. You got 2 must wins for 2 teams that have championship aspirations.
I just kept waiting around like, okay, well, Joker's going to make a play. No. Jamal Murray's going to make a play. No. And they look
I
frustrated.
don't know what Jamal Murray was
They
doing.
look out of sorts.
Yeah,
They don't
I
look
don't
like they're sticking to their game plan. They look just out of it when they play the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I don't know. Minnesota's had a good track record, as you said, against them over the past 2 years or so. Maybe they're just built to beat the Denver Nuggets. Tonight should be a very interesting one. We've got a lot of interesting ones. So that what we'll do is we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll get you caught up with everything that's happening in and around the world. This is Sports Day on 104.3 FM WQAM. Always love hearing from you here on Sports Day. You can text in 305-567-0560, or you can watch us and comment along. Just go to YouTube, Twitch, type in 1043 WQAM, and we will get you going. A lot of people have been weighing in all day long. Devon McKenzie, 3911, just says, "What's up, Dan and Vlad?" Hey, man. What's up, Devon? We're having a good time out here.
What's good, my guy?
Hey, we got a lot going on. I really am excited, man. Anytime you look at the TV or turn on the radio, there's something cool going on, whether it be the draft, which, of course, we're excited with the Dolphins, NBA playoffs, which have been fantastic. I'll tell you, I go home every night, Vlad. I get home at like 11, 12, and like, I'm just going to watch the first half of the late NBA game. So I eat, watch it, and I'm like, it's halftime. I'll switch over to like a late baseball game and just, Then I was like, I'll watch the beginning of the third quarter of the basketball game. Then I'm like, I might as well watch the whole basketball game. Next thing you know, it's 1:30 in the morning. And then I'm like, I got to get the analysis after the game. Next thing you know, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I was supposed to go to bed 3 hours ago, but it's just too compelling. NHL's been fantastic.
NHL's been great. Some of these overtimes, a lot of double overtime games. So it's, you're pretty much going to bed maybe like a 1:30, 1:45 in the morning after watching just, 5-6 hours of great postseason action from the NBA and NHL. And of course, if you're local down here, you're feeling left out. You're used to this experience and you're missing out. It's fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah, but it's a year you can relax and just
Well, for the Panthers, yes, you can relax, but for the Heat,
you don't have a vested interest. You're not every night nervous about games. Just relaxing and enjoying.
Listen, you like that. You like that. We love. Listen, you want to be in a fight, so you can deal with the anxiety and the stomach. The stomach gut punches. The gut punches. When for a loss and the elation when you win or you steal a win in the postseason, you need all of that. And what's great is like Thursday, bro, when you have NHL, NBA playoffs, and then you have the NFL draft. So especially when your team has multiple picks, you're very invested and you don't know if they're going to move up. You don't know if they're going to get out of one of these picks. You don't know who's falling. Like when you started seeing certain players fall, I know the fan base was excited when we were doing Game Day Uncensored. You thought that there was a chance that one of the U players would have fallen, and actually almost did happen.
Yeah. So Gregory Goodwin, 4292. If you ask, slow sports day? No, it is not a slow sports day. Heck, on this show alone, we have talked about the draft, the Dolphins, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We even had Daniel Solana on from Inter Miami. So a lot going on right now. So we're excited. It's been good times. I've been excited to go home every single day and just take it all in. Heat Cult, my main man Dan, too young to remember NBA trade tape delays in the finals. Yes, I'm too young for that. But yes, some finals were, I want to say your Knicks finals, when you guys won back-to-back, or not won 2 finals, wasn't even aired on TV.
That was in the 70s, bro. That was like 50 days.
I don't even think there was tape delay. I think it was just
50
like
years ago.
There you go.
It was 50 years ago, fam.
Gas
was a different price too. Let's all relax here. There's been evolution. It's called life.
I know. I'm understanding that, but I want to say there was a short time. Well, we know that some NBA games weren't aired on TV, but I think the finals for some points weren't even aired on TV, much less tape delayed. Times have changed now. You can watch everything, anytime, anywhere, all the time. And we're loving it here. And they have access to everybody at all times, whether it be phone, whether it be Zoom, whether it be Skype. It's exciting times to be alive. And it's exciting times to be a Dolphins fan because they got the draft going on with the new regime. Dolphins with the 42nd pick chose somebody that Vlad's very high on, Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah, man. I really, really dig this pick by you guys. I really think this was a great pick by the Miami Dolphins. He's a leader. I don't want to compare anybody to Hall of Famers, but if I'm going to compare him to somebody, his comparison would be another former Texas Tech Red Raider and former Miami Dolphin, Zach Thomas.
Jacob Rodriguez had big numbers in college on one of the best defenses in college football last year. So, yeah, I like it. 77th pick, keeping it in Lubbock, Texas. Texas Tech wideout Caleb Douglas. We know we need some help with the wideouts this year. Offensive minded 87th pick, Ohio State tight end Will Kazmarek. Of course, he is more of a blocker, but he can also take some catches and take it to the house. And then with the 94th pick, we took Louisville receiver Chris Bell. We still have 3 picks today as we are currently in the what round is it?
We're in the 5th right now. We're in the 5th.
The 143rd.
Yeah, we're in the 5th. We're in the 5th.
The math doesn't always add up because there's those compensatory.
Oh yeah, the math ain't math sometimes. But no, we're in the 5th. We're in the 5th.
TV could do a better job of a lot of things.
It's the worst, bro. It's even on. So remember how I was? I wasn't complaining. I was making a gripe about how the picks were 3. They were 3 picks back on TV. You know, if it was pick 8, it'll show pick 8 while 3 picks have already been selected. Trades have happened. Multiple trades have happened. They still want there because they want, you know, the great Laura Rutledge or whoever was doing the other, draft reporting, questioning the draft picks once they got selected. They waste time just for that. I don't need the human interest story. Jesus,
so
I don't.
We're on 143, and the Dolphins are going to be picking at 151. So these picks are coming pretty fast and furious.
Yeah, but guess what? They might be on the clock right now. They might be on time because they're not trying to get the interview. They want to show in day 1 and some sort of day 2 in the second round. They want to show the celebration. They want to show the player wearing a cap. And it's like, but we already know. You ever notice that when they showed a video of the player wearing the cap, we already knew who the player was? Like they're showing something at 35 seconds. Yeah, we know. Hey, guess what? Hey, Caden Proctor, we know it's you.
Yeah.
I don't need to see you.
This draft is a lot like a 3-day music festival.
Oh,
like a
my God.
this
is worse than it's Draftella. It's Draftella.
Like the first day, you're fired up. Everything's excited. It's so cool. Second day, you're like,
it's
man.
Draftella,
and
bro.
Then the third
it's like
day,
the first week of first round's like the first week of Coachella. You're excited.
Third day, it's the
third day is
people.
the second week, bro. The second week.
Third day, it's the hardcore fans that are like, man, I gotta see what happens.
Second and third round is day 2. Those are like those are the guys that are staying because they know that's where some of the that's how teams are really made. It's if you stay for the third day, that's when you know you're really a diehard.
Yeah.
If you staying for those mid rounders, that's definitely week 2 of
it is a
Coachella.
sparse crowd out there in Pittsburgh right now.
It's not as crowded as it was yesterday
or the day before. Well, obviously. Whew. Okay, so the draft continues. Miami's going to be picking in a couple of minutes. I'm expecting. We're going to take you up to 3:30 today. It's going to be pregame for the Marlins and the Giants from San Francisco. First pitch going to be around 4:05 on here on WQAM. So get ready for that. 3 Canes we're taking in the draft on day 2. Carson Beck went to the Cardinals. Jacoby Thomas, the Vikings, and Markel Bell picked up by the Eagles and Keontae.
Gotta give Howie credit, man. Damn it, Howie. I like that selection of Bell for Philadelphia.
I like his
You get that big 6'9", 320, what's it, 330?
Maybe more than that. Come on.
Jeez, 6'9".
Yeah, he was a monster with the Canes last year. Absolute monster. I'm trying to get his weight right now. They don't even put his weight. They just put 6'9". That's all you need to know about Markel Bell.
Jeez, that's a big boy. Yes, those are the measurables that people love, man.
346 pounds.
Yeah, well, there you go. 340, yes, sir.
Depending on what he ate for dinner the night before. It can probably range from 346 to about
what
370.
What he released in the bathroom, that day.
From Cleveland, Mississippi, of all places. Cleveland, Mississippi has been a hotbed of football players for quite a while now. But yeah, Markel Bell. I mean, just the size alone. You figure you get him in there, you coach him up right. Philadelphia Eagles probably have a little something right there. We saw what he did with our guys, Miami Hurricanes, last year. He is a monster of a man.
He's a monster.
He's huge. Absolutely huge, I tell you. NBA playoffs continue.
Word.
We got the Pistons and the Magic playing right now with the series tied at 1.
Yes, the Magic are up 59-54 at the half.
Correct. Still more basketball today that if you want to watch, we got you covered. They got the games going on at 3:30, Oklahoma City and Phoenix. That's when you can kind of relax to because Oklahoma City's already up.
Well, we'll see. We have an injury. Jalen Williams, left hamstring.
He's week to week, they say.
Yeah, he's been banged up all year, which is why it's kind of shocking. Not shocking, but which kind of backs up maybe Shea's MVP, back-to-back MVP campaign because he's basically played this season without their second base. They played the season without their second best player for the most part. He's missed, I think he missed like 64 games this year with a wrist or hamstring injury. But he thought he was healthy, and then he really pulled up lame against the Suns in game 2. A lot of bickering in this series.
Devin Booker got in some trouble for calling out the refs.
He was right though. He was saving the ball, and he got attacked because the ball hit the player in the face. Caruso's like, "Yeah, you should get attacked," and then the referee's like, "Yeah, I think you're right," and they gave him a tech. Damn, it's bad when Alex Caruso is getting more pull than you, and you're an Olympian.
I told you, Devin Booker's kind of whack.
No, Devin Booker's now kind of whack. Come on, man. I think you just hating because
I've never liked him.
Yeah, I know, because he's what's it, Kylie or Kendall?
No, I mean, I didn't like the way he played against the Pelicans in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I kind of think he's kind of got empty stats, and then he went against Bad Bunny and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because
it's an amalgamation.
You don't like him because he went against your boy, and he's going out with one of the girls you like, who happens to be.
If I hated every guy that went out with a girl that I liked, I'd hate a lot of guys.
I'm just saying.
Let's get to the 6:00 game. That's going to be juicy. Knicks, Hawks, Atlanta up 2-1. CJ McCollum, all of a sudden playing like he's 21 years old again. Knicks got to get this win today.
Yeah.
They fought back valiantly in the last game.
They should have never been down as much.
They were down a lot in that game.
They should have never been down that much. That's bad. That's bad coaching. Not having your guys ready.
Could get you, but you got to win today. Get that thing evened up at 2.
In Tibbs, I trust.
I would have trusted. I still trust in Tibbs a little more than Brown.
In Tibbs, I trust.
And then at 8:30 tonight, T-Wolves Nuggets. We'll see if Minnesota truly does have the Nuggets number. Last night, Celtics did defeat the 76ers.
Tatum, man.
They leaned on their stars. Yeah. Lakers down the Rockets. They leaned on one of the greatest players of all time in overtime. And
it was
Spurs
smart.
Beat the Blazers, and the Spurs leaned on the
youth. Dylan Harper, man. You know what I liked about that game? There was a lot of talking between Scoot Henderson and Dylan Harper. They were going at it. I believe Scoot's technical is what was a motivating, a momentum shifter. He caught a tech after scoring a basket on Dylan Harper, and then after that, the Spurs went on a run and pretty much controlled the end that fourth quarter in the game. That doesn't help when your best player, especially when the best player in the series is out with a concussion. The second best player in the series should have taken over, and Denny was it Avida?
I've been trying to practice
Avia. Is it Avia?
I don't know.
I'm calling him Avia.
He's an unbelievable player.
Denny Avia, he didn't have a good game last night. It's gonna be interesting to see Victor Wembanyama's status for game 4 and see if Portland can to even the series. But I would like the series to go 6 or 7.
Oh, it's been fun.
It's definitely been fun.
Both teams have very bright futures, but
I don't know if they have bright futures because one team's going to be spending money and the other team's tight asses.
I'll tell you, the Spurs, though, get this. Dylan Harper, 20. Stephon Castle, 21. And then the old man of the group, Victor Wembanyama, 22. And then if you really want to go the old man, De'Aaron Fox, I think he's 26. Goodness gracious.
And they got pieces to move in case they get upset in the first round for Giannis.
My God. I wouldn't want Giannis if I had those guys.
I don't know, man. You put Giannis and Wembanyama together.
I don't know, man. I'm warning you about Giannis. And great player, great regular season player.
We'll see.
We'll see. Giannis would be lucky to land on San Antonio. I'll tell you that much, man. That's nice to have a nice little future core like that. Nice. Very nice. I got distracted by the youth movement of the Spurs, but nonetheless, these playoff games have been great. The NHL playoff games have been great. Carolina Hurricanes going for the sweep of the Ottawa Senators as we speak right now. Oh, no, that's a 3:00 game. I'm sorry. They're going to wait a little bit. 3:00 game, 5:30, Dallas, Minnesota. Dallas is up 2-1 in that series. And then Philadelphia Flyers. Welcome back to the playoffs. They're going for the sweep of the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight.
The Fighting Trevors.
I know he's very stoked about that.
He should be.
I would be too. Canes baseball team lost to Cal 9-2 last night. They've been kind of on a heater, but that last night was a bump in the road, hopefully, as game 2 is tonight at 6:00. Here's an interesting story. Miami Hurricanes athletic director Dan Radakovich is expected to retire next week. His contract isn't up until later in the year.
Apparently, I think they're trying to get somebody from Rock Nation that worked with Rock Nation.
100% right. University is expected to name Michael Yormark as his successor. Yormark was the president of the Florida Panthers from 2007 to 2013 and has worked since then with Jay-Z's Rock Nation.
Hove.
He's on the business side of Rock Nation.
Well, I mean, Hove is a billionaire. I think they do good business at Rock Nation.
Well, you're probably going to very soon see Michael Yormark as the athletic director over at the University of Miami. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes over there, but I'd like to know more, but I'm not privy to that information. Inter Miami back in action tonight, 7:30, try to get their first win at New Stadium against New England Revolution. Leo Campana returning to South Florida. Pat Riley expected to hold his end of the season press conference Monday afternoon.
Can't wait.
That's going to be exciting, especially since Dwayne
Wait,
Wade.
what time Monday afternoon?
They have not said yet. They're not specified.
Because I wonder if Tobin's going to have to leave the show early.
Stir the pot. Dwayne Wade did recently implore the team to make changes following a season where the team.
A lot of people have been asking for changes, man.
And when your greatest player of all time asks for changes, that raises a couple of ears and a couple of eyebrows. I will say that. And you know what? I don't know if he's totally wrong. And Darren Peterson, who's one of my favorite players in college basketball, at least for 1 year at Kansas, he is leaving, and he is projected to be a top 3 pick in what is supposed to be a very deep NBA draft. Right now, the worst the Heat can draft is 13th overall.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That
They could move up all the way to number 1.
They got what, like a 3% chance?
Yeah, like a 3% chance. But hopefully they can move up. Look, I'm all about having the number 1 overall pick every year. Well, no, that would be that. No, it's not impossible because theoretically Oklahoma City could have had the number 1 pick this year if things fell right.
The Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
When the Clippers were struggling early before Kawhi decided, hey, I'm Kawhi. And I'm healthy.
Kawhi's really good, man. Say what you want about him.
A lot of people would like him down here.
I would not be opposed to that right now, to be honest with you. You and I talked about it last week. Who would you prefer, Ja, Giannis, or Kawhi? You and I both think Kawhi would be a great fit. I also think Ja Morant would be a great fit. Not so sold on Giannis. I'm really sour on Giannis, and I don't know why. He's done really nothing to
Because he
sour
wanted
me.
to be the hottest chick in the game.
That was a bad choice of words, yes. And his playoff record outside of that one run where they won. Now, granted,
Not
they
that
won.
great.
Seems like he's a little. He's really good in the
I
regular.
feel like he's been knocked down the first round almost every time, other than that time.
Tommy Tighe, who hosts Heat Weekly right
Let me
before us,
check this.
he and I talked about this. Giannis is really hard to game plan for in the regular season because you're going game to game. You're a game maybe the night before, a game after. You can't really focus in. But in a playoff series where you can focus and try to take away certain things and coach against certain things, Giannis becomes more manageable to defend. Hence why I don't think his playoff record is all that great. Hence why I'm not super high on selling the farm to get Giannis Antetokounmpo if you're the Heat. There's no way he's going to the Pelicans, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I'm not totally sold on Giannis. And I mean, being a great regular season player, that gets you a whole lot of MVPs, but it doesn't get you a whole lot of anything else. Once again, Giannis made a run in the playoffs, won a ring. That is impressive. But outside of that, there's been some early exits for who is considered one of the greatest players of all time.
84 games, 44 wins, 40 losses.
A lot of 1 seeds and a lot of high seeding in there too.
Yeah. First round. Another first round. Another first round. Second round. No, 2019 he got to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost.
Okay.
That's when Kawhi beat him.
Okay, that was the Toronto Raptors year. I think Norman Powell was on that team.
And then it was the year, And then 2020 he lost to the Heat
in round 2 as a number 1 seed. Then they swept the Heat the next year.
Then
in the first round.
Yeah. No, and then 21. Yeah.
You don't sound very excited about.
No, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at this, and then 20. Yeah, no, because I all I see was 2 years. Like there's only 2 times in his career. I really feel like he's only passed the first round.
Yeah. Something to think about before you.
It was 2020. No, it was 2019 when they lost to the Raptors. 2020 they lost to the Heat
in round 2.
That
was like 6 games, I want to say. That was not a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Before you mortgage the farm,
Yeah.
just know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Just
Looking
saying.
at his numbers right now. Yeah.
Yep. Kawhi.
It's shaky. Yeah. He's only been to the second round again in 2022. He lost to the Celtics. Got swept by the Heat. No. Yeah. Lost to the Heat in 23.
That was as a 1 seed.
As a 1 seed.
Giannis was hurt though.
But he missed what, game 1? But he missed game.
But I mean, still, he was hurt. That doesn't, just because he didn't.
I think he missed game 2 and game 3.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these games that he played.
Yes.
21, he played 23 games in the playoffs because they won the finals that year.
They were still down 2-0 to the Phoenix Suns in the finals.
Right.
They didn't go on to win 4 in a row, but that's
2020, they lost in 4 games to the Heat.
Oh.
I mean, 5 games, I'm sorry.
Oh, 5. Oh, I forgot. I thought they won 2. I gave them too much credit.
But that was, they got knocked out in the second round. They beat Orlando, but they lost to the Heat in the second round because the Heat then beat the Celtics in the conference finals, right?
Yes. At 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Bam Adebayo block on Jason Tatum.
Right. 2019 second round. But other than that, in 2018, he got knocked out in the first round by the Celtics. 2017, he got knocked down in the first round by the Raptors. 2015, he got knocked down in the first round by the Bulls. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Just keep that in mind.
I mean, I hear you, buddy.
I know. No, you're with me. You and I are preaching to the choir. I understand. I'm just saying, if you think he's the answer to all your problems, I do have the answer to your problems, though. It's called taking a step into the day spa. College kid. He was at a grocery store and he saw a single mom with 2 kids struggling to buy a loaf of bread and some peanut butter. So he said, "Look, I got you. I'll pay for it." She said, "Hold on a minute," goes back into the store, gets 5 or 6 more items and says, "Okay, I'm ready to check out now." You're a college kid. You got to learn these things. It's a hard lesson.
Hold on. All right. There's so much I need so much here. That's funny. Good job by her for scamming.
Good job by her
for scamming. Hey, listen.
You got to learn. That's what you do in college. You learn.
See a single girl lady. She's I'm hoping she's attractive. He's trying to make a move.
There was
you know what I'm
2
saying?
kids with her, by the way.
Okay, but she's mature, and he's trying to make a move, and he saw her struggling, which is probably her move. He got set up.
Yeah, he got played.
He got played.
That's what I'm saying. In college, you got to learn these things.
Lined him up, and he got
college
reeled in.
It's a time to learn. He
lined him up. That's sad.
He learned. He got played. Next time it won't happen. See, lesson learned.
Now, by the way, the minute she left, she left with the 2 kids. I don't know what the hell I'm waiting for. She went to the car to get more items.
No, she went back into the store.
Oh, she went back into the store.
And she was like, "Oh, wait, hold up 1 sec." Goes back, grabs a couple of more items, and says, "Okay, now I'm ready to check out."
Oh, wait, was she at the register already?
She's at the register. Her card got declined. She couldn't pay for her bread.
Oh, I didn't know her card got declined.
She didn't have any money, no bread.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
And he wanted to buy the bread and peanut butter, and he said, "I got you." And she said, "Hold up 1 sec." Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gets a couple more items, says, "Okay, now I'm ready to check out." Got him.
That's foul.
Now I'm all about helping people out, but gotta learn these things sometimes.
That's a nice move, man. Yeah.
You gotta tip your hat. And lesson learned. Could have been more expensive.
Well, we don't know how. Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm just saying we don't know how it.
I'm just trying to get through college.
I understand that. We don't know how. Listen, we don't know how it really ended. Did she just leave without saying hi, bye, not a number?
Said thank you and rolled out.
There's no numbers were exchanged. No, didn't really.
College, you got to learn these things. I got to do this. I'm dancing my way through ditto school. That's how it really gets you right there.
That's messed up.
Dancing my way through dental school.
That's sad. Poor guy. Well, that's what happens, man.
I have to ask you, Vlad, did cookies bring down the Miami Heat empire?
Yeah, it was a monster.
Cookies.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it next here on Sports Day 104.3 FM WQAM. In every relationship, it takes a bunch of things to bring it to an end. But are we to believe that the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to LeBron James and the Miami Heat, the straw that broke the camel's back was cookies?
Yep.
Michael Beasley, who was on the team at the time of the cookie incident, recently went on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, and he broke down on how cookies may have just ended the Big Three and the Miami Heat empire.
Hold on, man. Oh, there he is.
I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. Yes. Spo tried to swing his and Riley tried to swing their. Spo and Riley tried to take took the cookies and then tell him I'm pretty sure if they would have went to him like a person, man, it would have been maybe a different story. Right. But he personally brings those himself, his chef. And so they took his cookies. They weren't the plain cookies. Yes.
Didn't you just listen to that?
That's the part of the story they're not telling. Like Bron ain't gonna come to your establishment and have your cookies. No, he got a chef, and he bring his own ice cream and his own cookies. So those LeBron ice cream, LeBron cookies. Yeah. They took LeBron ice cream, LeBron cookies, and wouldn't let LeBron eat his own ice cream and cookies. Bruh, that boy stood up. That's the story. Like Thanos. Hey, yo, can I get my? Where I play cards at, I can see where they bring the cookies at. Yeah. So I can see them scrambled. But at the time, I don't know. You don't know why? I know why because I didn't know that I knew why. Right. So I'm just watching like, hey, come back. Come to Bronx. What? Hey, hold on. Stood up and yelled as far as the back. Everybody heard him. Yo, if anybody do it, bro, sat down. I mean, it was loud as, and sat down. As cool as a cool. You ain't got my cookies. Y'all ain't going. You're right, bro. He him. Like that's the first time I seen the whole organization get scared. From that point on, man, they tiptoed around him. They knew he was out. So from that moment on, you knew LeBron was leaving. They knew he was leaving. Everybody did. Man, bro.
So if they knew that would, so wait, tell me. I get it, but if you knew this would piss him off, why would you do it?
Once again, I think that's what Michael Beasley was getting to. Like, you knew it wasn't going to go well, and you knew you were already kind of on thin ice, and you knew doing something kind of petty and small could just totally tip the scales. Why did Eric Spoelstra and Pat Wiley want to, I don't know these exact words, but show their you know what? It boggles my mind. Like, it's freaking cookies. It's his cookies. It's one thing I understand. Like, look, no one gets cookies. We lost the game. No one can have them. If they're supplying the cookies or supplying the meal, this was this man's own stuff. And you knew you were in somewhat of a fragile. Why put your ego aside and let it go? Now, some would probably argue if cookies are going to do you in, then it's already done anyway. But it seems really small and petty to do that. Just to enforce your will, to show your authority?
I still can't believe we're still talking about something that happened 12 years ago.
But it's just crazy. Michael Beasley, very, very good orator. I like the story right there.
No, listen, Dr. Toboggan, I agree with you. I'm with LeBron. Like, if I've been doing something, that's my thing. Don't throw away something that's mine.
It's just a power move.
It absolutely was a power move. Put it this way. What if it wasn't what his chef cooked from, what if it was his mom's?
Yeah.
Or his wife, his daughter, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
What if his daughter
don't touch anything that's personal of mine. It's not about, you see my body?
Yeah.
That's all he had to say. That's all LeBron had to say back then. You see, come on, man.
That's one thing. If there's been some issues with your weight and your health and you're in shape.
This ain't Eddie Curry. You know what I'm saying? This is him.
And who cares even about the cookies? It's the power move. Was that a necessary thing?
No, it wasn't.
But it also has longer tentacles, Vlad, because it seems like Spo and Riley learned from that and decided our next star, we're going to give him more leeway, which led them to the total other opposite, where they let Jimmy Butler not get away with murder, but get away with things he shouldn't have gotten away
But
with.
here's the other thing as well. I think we could come after 12 years. I think we could come to this conclusion that he was leaving. He was leaving. He was going back home. So therefore, just deal with it. He was leaving. This is all good for the stories.
So is it a
the
parting
fact that we're
shot?
still talking about it 12 years later? It's still good for the story. But that time, what do we always say, bro? Everything has an expiration date. LeBron James' tenure with the Miami Heat had an expiration date. That expiration date was June 2014. Unfortunately, they were not able to beat the San Antonio Spurs. But they got gentlemen swept, right?
Yes.
4-1. And that was it. So cookies could have played a factor. Cookies could not have played a factor. But it's good to for people to listen to. It's good to say that cookies played a factor. But in retrospect, he was gone anyway.
So
he was going back home.
Was it a power move by the Miami Heat just to be like, if you're going to get out of here, screw you?
It could have been a power move of you not letting us know what your next step is. You're not letting us know what we need to do. We feel we're kind of handcuffed here because we're waiting from some type of sign or word from you saying that you will return to us and you're going to be here for a number of years. If we're not going to get that, then it's time for us to take back the control of the team because we were appeasing the big three. And now if you're going to be gone, then we've got to, turn back and take over the reins of this team because everything we were doing was pretty much to help you. And I mean, help the big three, but really you, because you were the best player on the team and you became the best player on the team. And the reins were handed to you by the former best player on the team. I can understand that business-wise, but I wouldn't kind of poke the bear if the bear is still deciding on what to do. I wouldn't kind of poke him in a direction for him to be like, all right, I'm done with this.
So did what they do with LeBron James and handle the big three situation have a direct effect on how they handled the Jimmy Butler situation?
Maybe, but I think it's different dynamic. I think those are two different type of scenarios.
But do you think maybe they were a little more lax, a little more laid back, realizing that maybe the NBA star of today is a little bit different, needs to be handled differently than it used to be?
Maybe the thinking was because Jimmy was a little bit older than LeBron was at that time. Because LeBron was 28, 29 when he went back during that time. Was it 2014? Correct. 2014. So that was 12 years old. Yeah, he was 29. Jimmy was a little bit in his 30s. Getting closer to his mid 30s, looking at his later 30s. But those are two different type of players. One guy, not to say Jimmy doesn't take care of his body, but it's legend. It's legendary it's legendary known how we know about LeBron and how he takes care of his body. It's not even it's a fact that he probably spends over $1 million in taking care of his body. So with that being said, you could feel safe in giving him the money because of the player, the IQ, just everything that he is as a player. 2 NBA final appearances, starting to get your swag back, allow me to reintroduce myself. The Heat were feeling themselves, but it was an expiration date. And there's always going to be an expiration date with guys that you're bringing in that really wasn't drafted or wasn't there from the beginning of your team, because there's always going to be other options, other financial options, and people are going to go where they can make the most money.
And last but not least, whose side do you take in the situation, the Cookie Gate situation?
I'm always going with the best player, bro. It's always I'm always going with the best player. Like, I can find myself a coach. Can't find myself another player. And I'm not saying it to slight Spo in any fashion. And it might have not only been Spo, apparently it was Riles too, because Riles was really at that. He was heavy in all the decision making at that time. So we all know about his body fat index and all of that. So it could have been from the guy. It could have been both of them, but I would have not done that. It's petty. It's small, but something that small could fester into something big. And if somebody's indecisive, I wouldn't poke them in a way to a decision of like, you know what, I'm done with this.
Especially a guy that has a lot of the holds a lot of the cards. But one thing is for sure right now, Vlad, I am really hungry for cookies.
What kind of cookies?
Gourmet, chef-made cookies.
All right.
Just saying. The Dolphins have just made another pick. We will discuss that and do some something or nothing next here. Sports Day 104.3 FM, WQAM. So the Dolphins have made their first of their 2 fifth-round picks. They have gone with Michael Toffee, a safety out of Texas and Austin. 3-year starter for the University of Texas, all SEC this year. He's described as a natural ball hawk, a former walk-on. Provided 222 tackles and 7 interceptions over his final 3 seasons in Austin, Texas. Standout at Longhorns, Texas, started 36 of 53 games and emerged as a team leader. So your first 5th-round pick for the Miami Dolphins, a safety, Michael Toffee. All right. Got a lot of holes to fill. We shall try to fill them. Right now, we're going to do some more something or nothing where Vlad's going to decide whether it is something or nothing. Rams, Sean McVay says that he and the team's general manager, Les Snead, are in lock and step following the draft of Ty Simpson, night 1 of the NFL draft. Didn't look that way at the time. Something or nothing.
Oh, it was something, bro. He didn't look very happy because here's the thing, right? I understand both parties, both sides, right? The Rams were pretty much the best team in the NFL last year, even though they lost those games to the Seahawks. The way they lost to the Seahawks, I thought the Rams were just a little better than Seattle. Seattle just pulled out a crazy victory on a Thursday night and held on in the NFC Championship game. But the fact that you're a Final Four team, you have Super Bowl aspirations, and you have a chance.
You're maybe one piece away.
And you have you get to select a number 13. There were some weapons. There were some players out there that you can utilize. But this is what I look. This is how I see it. I think they were going to go cornerback in the with the 13th selection. And they liked Mansour Delaney. And when they realized they made the trade for Trent McDuffie and gave him a bag, and then they got the other Kansas City cornerback, they probably looked at their secondary situation as, you know what? We got our secondary. We made it. We got our secondary, our cornerbacks through free agency. But they also have to think about the future. And that's what good teams do. They think about the future. And they don't feel like they're going to be in the same spot again in 2027 with the 13th pick unless everything, craps the bed. So they're not going to be able, I don't think they're going to be able to get one of these top 5 quarterbacks that's supposed to come out next year. So Ty Simpson, if was the best quarterback after Mendoza was on the board, might as well grab him now. And also, apparently, Simpson and Les Snead's dad, they're very good friends. And also, reports have it, Simpson asked Snead, should he come out instead of taking the money with the University of Miami? And he said, yeah, you should. Trust me, if you're out there in the first round, the team is going to select you. That team would have been them.
That's so, and they did.
And they did. So this is where we are.
Interesting, though. You could be one piece away from winning a Super Bowl, and you get a guy who's going to be a backup quarterback most likely this season.
You can always get that piece.
Yeah,
that piece could be a young piece that that's giving you rookie, some young infusion, or you can get a vet who knows what he's doing, who's been through these playoff situations, and it can help you out as well. I get it, bro. I get it. Now,
that was the Aaron Rodgers special. Why the hell are you drafting a quarterback when we're one piece away? You could go out there and get me a weapon, or you could get somebody else that could help the team immediately.
Or you could be like, yeah, but once you start waning and your skill starts to regress, we need to figure out a way to come back, to still be competitive.
Yeah, 2 sides. And in the end, honestly, Green Bay was right. They got Jordan Love. Now, they didn't get out of the NFC Championship game, and Aaron Rodgers blamed them for that, but they did get their quarterback for the future, and they're the only team that for the past 30 years has not had to worry about their quarterback situation.
Facts.
So, okay, there's 2 sides of it. We'll see. Time will tell. Texans general manager Nick Cassero, he says Nico Collins not up for trade. There had been some talk about that. Something or nothing.
That's something I wouldn't know why they would want to trade Nico Collins. You better keep every weapon that CJ Stroud can throw to, because CJ, you got a big year coming up, buddy. That defense is a
prove-it year.
That defense is already
top
notch, and they added some young monsters. Caden McDonald. I know they added somebody else as well in the first 2 rounds, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on Mr. CJ Stroud, and I wouldn't want to take his top weapon away
you need
from
to help him out as much as possible.
Yeah.
We watched that final game.
Oh my God. They got Kalen Rutledge. They got a guard for him to protect him because he needed that. But they also got some weapons. They added some guys on the defensive end, and that's going to help them out tremendously.
New Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, is out now. Some people are kind of upset about it because it's not exactly factually true. They eliminated 3 of the Jackson kids from the movie.
Which one? Randy?
I don't know which ones.
I know who it is. It had to be, I bet you it's Reeby, Randy, and Marlon.
They got rid of them. They just don't exist in the movie.
Poor Reeby, man. Centipede was a good song.
Also, they skipped over some of the unsavory parts of Michael Jackson's life in the movie.
What, the Neverland Ranch?
Yeah. So a lot of people are
no
upset.
Bubbles?
No, there's bubbles.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's AI bubbles. That's another reason people are upset.
They had AI bubbles.
It ain't a real monkey. It's an AI.
Geez.
It's an AI monkey. But
what's going on here?
some people are a little upset. Not exactly factually true, or at least casual factual true. Nonetheless, seems like a pretty cool watch. Durex Condoms says because of the unrest in the Middle East and rising oil prices, they will have to raise the price of their condoms. Something or nothing. I mean, you got to buy them.
I'm thinking, if you're at war you can always definitely, you always think you can always use some peace
and protection.
But if bullets are flying by you, I don't know if I'm thinking about, you know what? I need to get a prophylact for the night. I don't know about that.
We're talking about the common man. You going down to the 7-Eleven, they're going to be a little more expensive now because of this war. The high price of war.
You think they got 7-Elevens out there?
I'm talking about here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about over there. I'm talking about because of the war in Iran.
I mean,
because of rising oil prices.
I can go to there's always a clinic that's giving free rubbers out. Come on, man.
Maybe those days, I don't know. Last but not least, a woman is missing in Mexico, and she's very hard to find because the only pictures they have on file of her are extremely doctored social media pictures. Something or nothing.
So what? She's been to Doctor whatever so many times that they don't even know the real. No, I know. It's like doctored.
She's doctoring the pictures with filters and
right. As I'm saying, like
there are no real pictures of her. So like when they put out have you seen this woman? It's not the woman you're actually looking for. It's a hugely doctored picture.
Damn, poor girl.
I mean, this girl kind of did it to herself.
Poor young lady.
You got to be careful, man, with these doctoring of pictures. Look, fellas, ladies, I know, but there gets to be a point. Like, come on, who are we fooling here? Omar Kelly talks about
how much filter does she put that they can't even recognize her? Like, they don't got no picture of her.
She wiped them clean, man. No modern day pictures of her that aren't extremely doctored.
I want to know if she had any work done.
They say that she is a full-figured woman, but there are no full-figured pictures of her.
So she had work done.
No, it's all filter.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking she might have done some BBL or something, and but okay.
Just be careful. Enough is enough, I guess is the words we'd say. We're not done yet. We got a little more. Not enough. We're not saying enough yet. We got a little bit more. One more segment. Get you ready for the Marlins and the Giants. That is going to be a 4:05 first pitch pregame at 3:30 with Vladimir Lewis. Yeah. I am Dan Day. We'll be back after this on 104.3 FM WQAM. So the draft continues. The Miami Dolphins have taken a safety out of the University of Texas, Michael Toffee. He was all SEC last season. Seems like John Eric Sullivan and those guys have addressed many of the holes that they needed, whether it be offensive line, whether it be secondary, tight end, and they will continue to draft as we are now on the 167th pick of the Dolphins. Next pick in the 5th round is 180. Then they have a 7th round pick to wrap things up, and hopefully John Eric Sullivan can get some diamonds in the rough. Before we get to some of the headlines, though, Vlad, you weren't here the other day, and I'm kind of happy you weren't.
Good day.
I underestimated the motivating power of one particular item here at the radio station and just really in the world. I underestimated it. That item is pizza.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I did work. I worked Thursday night. I wasn't here early Thursday morning and afternoon. I believe it was Bring Your Child to Work Day.
You're correct.
So I saw that our beloved Tommy Tobin and Leroy brought his daughter in. You know, what do you call it? Snitchy. You know, you call it Snitchy Roo or something like that.
Snitchy McSnickles.
Yeah. They were there and they had a great time. But I did see quite a number of stacks of Domino pizza boxes at the in the kitchen.
So it was great to, first of all, Bring Your Child to Work Day, to have the young, dynamic kids. They're excited. They're energized.
Snitchy Mouse is what he calls it.
They're running around. And even the parents are kind of energized. I think it's great. I'm enjoying it. I'm talking to Leroy's daughter. I'm talking to some of the other kids. You know, I'm doing my work at the same time, drinking my coffee. And then they said, lunch is going to be served for the kids. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm getting some more coffee.
You're a kid.
Hey. So I'm getting my second cup of coffee because nowadays I drink 2 cups of coffee every day. And I mean, I see the adults all a flurry. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Dan, there's pizza. I said,
wait, nah, don't say no. You can't tell me there was an adult that was screaming.
Yeah.
Dan, there's a pizza. Like,
no, he just found gold or something. They were yelling. So I was like, well, it's in the what do you call it? The meeting room. I don't think that's for public consumption. And also, you know what? I'm drinking my coffee. I don't really want to eat the kids' pizza. No. Come on. And I mean, people are hoarding, grown-ups, mind you, not kids.
Men and women?
Men and women just flying down the hallway. So I'm like, man, what are they doing? So I go in there, and poor Terry, who is kind of in charge of the thing, is just imploring people, wait, let the kids eat first.
Oh my God, no. This is like a bad
and I was like, school special. Guys, it's not for you. And they're like, I mean, I can't have a piece. And
no, who said that?
I'm not gonna.
No, you gotta tell me off.
Now, I do want to say this.
You gotta tell me.
Kudos to the promotions people who picked up the pizza. They beat everybody to the pass. They were eating the pizza as they were bringing it upstairs. I was like, oh my God. Oh, goodness. Now, I'll give credit to one Leroy Horde. Leroy Horde and I were the only 2 voices of reason going, let the kids have the pizza. And if there's some left over, we'll get it. Oh my God. And we had one guy here. Let me tell you. He's like,
wait, all right. First of all, how many kids were here?
There was not that many, but they ate a lot of pizza.
Oh, the kids ate a lot?
Oh, yeah. So there was one guy here, and I'm not going to name any names.
But there was like, wait, tell me, hold on. To peel the curtain back for the listeners and the viewers on YouTube and Twitch. There was like 6 to 7 boxes of pizza that I saw. So they were what, medium pies or large pies?
They said large, but a large isn't the large that I grew up with.
That ain't a large. It ain't look large.
Like mediums.
But what, 8 slices? You're probably saying?
I'd probably say that. Yeah.
So 7 boxes.
Yeah, something like that.
So 56 slices of pizza.
And there's probably about 15
individuals.
15, 20 kids.
Oh, there was 15 to 20 kids?
Yeah.
And how many adults? Like 12, 14?
Yeah, 12, 14.
Wait, damn. Some people were bringing all their kids? Jeez. Okay.
Well, no, they had nieces and nephews. So,
oh, damn, nieces and nephews.
I'm sitting there telling people, like, look, first of all, it's pizza. Don't freak out. And if you do get some, it's gonna be like 1 piece, and it's for the kids. Like, let the kids eat the pizza. If there's anything left. And they had some people like, I mean, I don't care who it's for. I want a piece of pizza.
No way. I gotta know who's saying this.
I was like, I go, calm yourself down. And like, I'm the voice of reason here. I'm like, if there's
that's crazy
left,
that the Louisiana natives were the voice of reason.
I know.
Because y'all love food.
And I'm the skinniest person, hungriest person in this building.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you and me both.
I know. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't even want the pizza now because I'm kind of embarrassed for the way grown-ups are acting. And like the kids are loving it and they're enjoying it. And poor Terry is sitting there fending off everybody. People are walking in with plates and stuff. She's like, oh no, I'm sorry.
So, hold on. Didn't they serve you guys breakfast as well? Didn't they serve the kids?
I saw some muffins that were left over. I picked over a couple of muffins that were sitting out that nobody wanted.
I saw muffins. I saw tangerines.
Yeah, there's tangerines. Nobody wants fruit. You don't win friends with salad.
Tangerines are good, man.
I know. I'm not saying that. But man, you I heard people like, I'm a kid. I mean, I'm a child. I'm someone's child. And
there was an individual who was
just hovering by the conference room. I was like, have some adult tendencies. Why am I the voice of reason here? So eventually, and then people kept coming up to me. Dan, do you know if they have any more pizza? I'm like, I'm not the keeper of the pizza. I don't care. So finally,
you know what it is? It explains a lot. This explains a lot. It's not good for the company.
So once again, finally I walk out and there's just nothing but trash and there's no pizza. And people are like, so I'm not going to get any pizza. Well, why don't they order more? I was like, now rewind to our Earth Day celebration a year ago, where we got the company-wide email saying, congratulations to Odyssey Miami for 95% participation. No one had that high of a number. And I was like, man, why do we have such a high number? Because pizza was served after the Earth Day event that we had here at the radio station. So
wait.
New thing.
What did we do Earth Day? Didn't we just go to the beach and start picking up?
We just walked around here and picked up trash. So new thing, if I need anything done, I'll go buy a couple of crappy pizzas and this place will erupt. Maybe if I want a raise, maybe I should buy pizza and just ask for a raise. Ah! Nonetheless,
Domino's ain't a sponsor.
I was glad you weren't here.
Domino's, I would have gone off.
I want to pray that you were on Leroy and I's side.
Kids I would have gone off. Pizza. I would have gone off. I would have gone off and said, "What the hell's wrong with you, adults?" I would have gone off.
I mean, they were shameless. It was embarrassing.
All right, Dan, you got to understand. When I walked in, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of pizza boxes for all of them to be empty. And I'm like, there's not that many people.
Someone was sneaking.
There's not that many people that should be here on a Thursday.
Someone was sneaking.
And I know they serve breakfast and I know they serve lunch. So if the lunch was the pizza boxes, because here's the thing, I saw there was a whole group bottles of soda. Nobody drank the soda.
Oh, they don't want that crap.
They didn't drink the sodas. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of full, like 3/4 full bottles of soda. But the pizza boxes, they were done. I'm like, how many kids really ate that much pizza?
Some people might have been sneaking. I don't know. With that being said, though, we've got the draft continuing today. We've got the Marlins 13-13 on the season playing the Giants. In just a couple minutes, we've got the pregame started. NBA playoffs continue on tonight. The NHL playoffs continue on tonight. Canes baseball, they get back to action against Cal at 6 o'clock. They might sell pizza at the stadium. Heck, you might want to go out there.
They got some good pizza at Lone Depot.
Well, I mean, this company would know. Inter Miami, they're back in action tonight at 7:30. New stadium against the New England Revolution. Daniel Solana came on earlier today and said he expects, as well as myself, Inter Miami to win. Pat Riley expected on a Monday to have a press conference. And you and I, Vlad, will be back on tomorrow from 12 to 3:30, kind of the same.
That's what I heard.
So we'll be covering the rest of this draft. We'll give you our draft grades and how we feel about our Miami Dolphins' newest members.
Your Miami Dolphins.
The NBA and NHL finals. And you and I, Vlad, we got to get out of here because we got the Marlins that are coming on the radio.
Yes. Florida Marlins will be on the road, take on the San Francisco Giants, try to make it 2 in a row after winning last night behind Sandy Alcantara's performance last night. So let's see if the Fish could continue their winning ways. They've won 4 out of 5 this week. So let's see if they can make it 5 out of 6.
I just like to put a bow on this show. It's been about NFL draft, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, pizza and cookies.
Cookies.
Nowhere else. For my cousin Vladimir Lewis, I am Dan Day. This is Sports Day on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Later fools.